reason I hear an echo. So I hit the mute button, and you can turn it right back on whenever you'd like to talk at your own will. So yeah, everybody, that's really the damn point. That's something that we've been talking about for months, man. For months, is, we shouldn't be limited to just two choices. But I mean, both sides have failed us right now, on the Republican side and Democrat side. Let me talk about the Republicans, and then I'll go right to. So on the Republican side, what do Republicans always say about their own politicians? Rhinos, Republican in name only. They've completely failed their own voters. All they care about is taking money from big corporations, foreign governments, and everything else. And with the Democrats too, man, the Democrats have fallen off of their own candidate. They don't like their own candidates. Most Democrats would love to have somebody else except for Joe Biden. And apparently Republican and Democrat leadership are completely tone deaf, do not want to give the people what they want. And they keep ramming through whoever works best for military industrial complex, foreign money, big farm, all that. So, this is definitely the time is ripe for a third party candidate for an outsider to come in and really sweep up 100%. Go ahead too, my friend.
Well, yeah, and we really have to, those of us who are in swing states especially, I'm not sure, Eric, what state do you live in?
Massachusetts.
Okay, yeah. So for those of us in swing states, I'm in Michigan, and anyone else who's in a swing state, whether it's Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, or Georgia, this is not about, this has to taking out your family, taking out your friends. Everyone here has to be worth not just their own vote, but 10, 20, 30 votes. Look, in 2016, the margin of victory in Michigan was 10,000 votes. And Dr. Stein received 50,000. We have to make sure that this year in Michigan, she receives not 50,000, but 500,000 or 2 million, and she can win the state of Michigan if we really work hard. But we have to make sure that we are doing something historic, and that's why everyone has to get behind this. So that means getting involved on the grassroots level. That means talking about it on your social media. That means giving a little bit of money if you can. We have to make sure that she has all the resources she needs, because as we know, terrible two-party system. They're going to go after her. I was the national surrogate for Bernie Sanders a couple times, and I saw how the Democratic Party went after him. And we have to make sure that we are protecting as much as we can from those kinds of things and problems. And she's going to have a lot of obstacles. And one thing we can do is make sure that money is not one of those obstacles. So if you are able to give a little bit. If you're able to be out there on the streets, knocking doors, talking to your family, talking on social media, that's the kinds of things that we need to do from now until November. And even in the short term, as she has to get on the ballot in some other states, to make sure that really happens.
Yeah, listen, and I did want to mention this too, everybody. So I wish I had it in front of me. Polling data, as in far as the how the people want to vote, Republican, Democrat. This is the first time in decades where most people actually polled to want a third-party independent candidate rather than Republican or Democrat. That's the first time in decades that has happened. And again, that really comes to a failed two-party system. And listen, I got a quick question for you too. Now, the good thing about Jill Stein is she's been able to contribute to the narrative, add to the narrative, and change the narrative, right? And I want to correct me if I'm debates against Trump and Biden. She's going to have a fair on the platform.
Well, I don't know. I don't think so, because again, they have these. Obviously, they make these criteria for. To protect the two parties, but the criteria is you have to be on enough ballots to get 270 electoral votes, which she is. The Green Party is on almost every ballot in the country. And she definitely is on enough states to get 270 electoral votes that they choose. So, the whole thing is obviously rigged and set up to only benefit the Republicans and the Democrats. So I'm not optimistic that they're going to let her into the debates because of these rules that they've set up for themselves. But I'm so sure that the debates are that big of a deal anymore in the age that we live in. In the age that we live in, with all the power that we have on social media, the debates are there and they're important. But the debates that we'll be having will be on the streets. The debates that we'll be having will be about changing the system en masse. So we have to make sure that we keep talking about it and not get too caught up in the processes which are made by the two parties to only protect them. Let them do that. Eventually they'll kill themselves, but we have to make sure we keep doing what we're doing and stay focused.
Yeah, listen, no, you're 100% correct, right? So this is how it should be, all right? Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Jill Stein, and RFK Jr. should all be open in the same debate on the same platform. And as he said, and we've mentioned before, like, man, they have certain rules, whether these were, I mean, I think most of them are intentional, to basically lock out any other competition other than Republican and Democrat. So that is highly unfortunate and kind of ridiculous that they do that. They rig it up that way. Jill Stein, are you with us? We're having a little bit of connection problems here.
I am trying. So sorry about this. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can hear you nice and clear.
And let me see if I can get the camera to go on. It's been on strike. How about now?
Nope.
Okay. I'm seeing my image, but somehow it is not getting to you.
Dr. Stein, there's like a little camera icon in the bottom left corner when you click on your face. If you click on the window with your face, there's a little camera icon in the bottom left corner. You need to make sure that doesn't have a line through it.
Yes.
Doesn't have a line through.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It does not have a line,
I'm sorry.
And if I press it, I get a line.
Yeah, don't forget to hit save. Hit save.
Yeah, when you got to hit save after you're done. You turn on the camera, you see your face, and at the bottom it says save.
Okay, there we go. All right. Are we on?
Yes.
Are we good?
Well, your screen is blank. I think you have to do flip cam. There we go. We are excellent, excellent, excellent. You have the screen. You have the platform. Please go right ahead.
Oh, awesome. Okay. And big thank you. Thank you so much, Amer, and thank you, Erik. It's really such an honor to be here with you tonight. And I've been loving everything that you're saying and just, really excited to dive in because this really is a transformational moment. This is a moment of crisis, really, in every dimension of our lives. The genocide in Gaza is kind of a symbol of the times that we're in, these times of just endless war, of violence. As Martin Luther King said a long time ago, my country is the greatest purveyor of violence in the world today. And that was in the 1960s, and it's only gotten worse. Ronald Reagan said decades ago that Israel is the unsinkable battleship for the U.S. in the Middle East. He might have said for the U.S. empire in the Middle East, because we have been asserting the privileges, the dominance of an empire. But that age of empire is really, it's over. That age of empire is over, but the empire doesn't know it yet. So we're running into conflict all over the world. We have the expanding war in the Middle East, defending Israel's genocide against Gaza. We have an exploding conflict with the proxy war in Ukraine right now, which is becoming more dangerous by the day on the slippery slope towards nuclear confrontation, with Russia recently now sending its a fleet to Cuba, potentially to install missiles in Cuba in retaliation for the missiles, nuclear compatible missiles that we've been installing at the border of Russia. And then we have a brewing conflict in China as well. These are not inevitable conflicts. These are conflicts that have really been ginned up by the U.S. over the course of decades. And we are, we are squandering our national resources on endless war and genocide abroad and impoverishing us here at home so that American people do not have the health care, the housing, the education, the freedom from debt, the response to climate and these incredible heat waves, for example, and droughts that we're experiencing right now. So our ability to live decent and dignified lives in this country has long been sacrificed to the power of empire, AIPAC, and the weapons profiteers who are robbing us blind, spending half of our congressional dollars on the endless war machine. And we say enough. It's time to cut the military budget, to end this global domination, to end the genocide. In fact, Joe Biden could end the genocide simply by making a phone call right now, as Ronald Reagan did in the 1980s when he recalled Israel's troops from the massacre that they were committing in Lebanon at the time. Dwight Eisenhower did the same thing in the 1950s. Israel is very much a creature of the United States and exists with the support of the United States. And this genocide is being committed with our economic support. And I don't mean us, we on the call, I mean our criminal misleadership, which is enabling this genocide, providing 80% of the weapons, the financial support, the diplomatic cover. Joe Biden recently switched from obstructing United Nations resolutions in the Security Council. The U.S. was always vetoing the ceasefire resolutions, to suddenly last week, he went to proposing a ceasefire resolution, which passed, but Israel is not going to do it. Now, the rub here is that Joe Biden doesn't need the United Nations to stop this war. Joe Biden could stop the war and the genocide himself. Right now, he has the power to do it by picking up the phone, by ending the flow of weapons, by initiating a national boycott, divestment, and sanctions program to stop Israel. Israel has nuclear weapons. It's not going to be an easy fix. And, it's absolutely critical that we stand up and use the power that we have to stop this genocide right now, because it's not just the people of Gaza and Palestine. It's really all of us who are at risk from the normalizing of the torture and murder of children on an industrial scale, and from the destruction of international law and human rights. So we say, no go, this is over, we have the power to do it. And that's just the issue of genocide and militarism. But that's the flip side of everything that ails us: the health care that we deserve, the affordable housing, the rent control that we should have as a national policy, the funding of quality schools should all be brought up to a dignified and quality level for all communities. Schools should not depend on how expensive your housing is. We can fix this. We can bail out the students like we bailed out the crooks on Wall Street in 2008. We can bail out the victims of those crooks on Wall Street and put an end to the student debt that is basically locking an entire generation of young people and not so young people into lifelong debt. These are fixed problems, but we need to claim our power. And, that's what we're about to do. That's what this election is about. This is a perfect storm for demanding, for standing up and demanding, like Frederick Douglass says, power concedes nothing without a demand. We have to stand up and make that demand. We are the ones we've been waiting for. The Democrats aren't going to do it for us. The Republicans aren't going to do it for us. This is about us standing up and demanding that we have an America and a world that's going to work for all of us. This all boils down to us asserting our power. And I'll conclude my rant here with one remark from Alice Walker, the novelist and poet and supporter of Palestinian dignity and human rights, who said some time ago, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, basically that the biggest way people give up power is by not knowing we have it to start with. But if you put together the 68% of Americans who want to end this genocide now, who want an immediate ceasefire and a diplomatic solution, that's 68%. You can win an election with that. You put together the 44 million young people who are locked into student debt and who will vote to get out of it if we can just get the word out and bypass the obstruction and the blackout through corporate media, get the word out. If you consider the 50% of all people who rent their housing that are just one paycheck away from being evicted, this is more than the numbers that we need. Remember, there are going to be 3 pro-genocide candidates in this race, Trump, Biden, and RFK. 3 pro-genocide endless war candidates. They will be splitting the pro-war, pro-genocide vote. We will be the only anti-war, anti-genocide campaign bringing together those of us who are demanding healthcare as a human right and quality living wages and a solution to the climate crisis, a Green New Deal, and so on. We can stand up together. We have more than the numbers that we need. When the vote is split 4 ways with the 4 major candidates, it can be won with as little as 26%. So don't let anybody talk you out of your power. Don't let anyone talk you out of the amazing transformative potential in this election to really turn the oligarchy on its head and really demand and create an America that's going to work for all of us.
And thank you so much for saying the stuff that the other candidates are too damn afraid to say. The 100,000%. Thank you so much. We definitely super appreciate you and thank you for being here. And yeah, that is 100% for RFK, for Donald Trump, and for Joe Biden. They're just basically echoing each other at this point. And you give us the actual diversity of opinions and actually go with the public opinion on this. And I also want to thank you for being there on June 8th. I was there on June 8th in Washington, D.C. for the Red Line protest. That was awesome for you to show up there. And thank you so much for giving your voice and everything there. I'm getting a little bit of lag from the other side too. Guys, let me know in the chat room if you guys can hear and see everything perfectly fine. And Amer, was there anything else you wanted to add to, my friend? Go right to you too.
Yeah, no, again, it's Amer, A-M-E-R.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay, no problem. It's all right. So, I mean, look, I think Dr. Stein kind of said it all, and we just have to make sure that we take advantage of this moment. I mean, there is millions of us throughout the country that understand that this system is not working. You know, it is not working. We have 2 political parties that are basically the same, that differ on the fringes, and we have to make sure that we make our voices known. And the Green Party, led by Dr. Stein, is the only party that really has that foundation to move forward and really be a force for justice and truth in the future. And so, like I said, it's on us to make sure that with all the obstacles that Dr. Stein and the Green Party are going to go through, that if we can do our part to make sure that manpower and money are not major obstacles, we have to keep moving forward. So that means give whatever you can, whatever it is tonight. $10, $20, $30, $50. If you can give $1,000, we need to make sure that we are doing what we can to be part of the success of this movement. And remember, success for us is measured in many ways, but first and foremost, it's measured in making our voices heard and making sure that these leaders are held accountable. I mean, if we don't hold them accountable, we're just going to end up with a lot of the same, especially with our current president. We need to hold him accountable, or we're going to end up with more Democratic presidential nominees that look just like him. So we need to make sure everybody's out there. And that means this is the year. Don't fall for the fear-mongering, right? The fear-mongering that, you know, Trump is a threat to the system. I mean, first of all, neither of these guys are a threat to the system. They are the system, right? A couple of rich white guys. I mean, it's pretty much is the system. We don't have to fall for that. But as far as we're concerned, and as we can see with the supporting of the genocide, they're both threats to America and both threats to American democracy. and to transparency and to humanity. I mean, we have a president that is actively supporting the genocide of a whole group of people, and the whole line of the Democratic Party is to scare us with the other guy. And this guy's this guy. Guy's pretty scary. I mean, the
Wanted to ask you a question. Julie Joyce, go ahead for your question. Remember, everybody, to keep your questions short and concise for her. And for Julie Joyce, go right ahead, Julie. She's a longtime fan of yours, too.
Hi, Jill. I just wanted
Thanks.
to.
Hi.
Hi. He said 45 seconds, so I'm gonna do this quick. Okay. My laugh. Okay. I hope you can hear this. I have been consistently trying to tell everybody that I could about Jill Stein for a really long time, because I got onto Weed and Subliminal Nations live, and they had all the third-party candidates up, and they're like, who should we go for? And I go, I don't care. We just need to all back them. We decided that you were the one that had the possibility and the platform to save Palestine. And I've had been talking to so many people, jumping on lives, gifting people, getting them to like say it, and then just like jumping around, even putting it in Hamza's live, and here I've been talking to Erik like for like crazy, like but the thing is I'm not trying to gloat for myself. I'm trying to let everybody know that this is freaking possible, people. Right here, all you have to do is talk about it, so that we actually do have a third party viable. Everybody that's in here needs to do what I've been doing, and what Subliminal Nation has been doing, and what Weeds has been doing, and what so many other people that have been on here doing. So that, because like I already know, but I just wanted to, and I wanted to say thank you so much. What you're doing, you know how important what you're doing. The compassion coming from yours. So thank you so much.
And thank you, Julie Joyce. Appreciate having you up here too. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so grateful to every one of you. And, you know, we are fighting the empire here, which does not want word to get out. They are fighting to keep us off the ballot. They are smearing my campaign as they've been doing for 10 years at least. So it's nothing new. Same old lies, same old, you know, disinformation. It's a real can to stop us. I am very much shadow banned. We know that. Matt Taibbi, the journalist, was given the internal communications of Twitter and verified that I am suppressed. I am considered in the same category as WikiLeaks, which I take as an incredible badge of honor that the empire considers us that powerful that they have to try to suppress us. So it's on us to get the word out. One way everybody can help, if you're able, if you're in a position where you can make a contribution, that helps us get on the ballot. We are now on track to be on the ballot as a choice opposing empire across the country. They are very afraid of that. They have an army of lawyers to take us to court, which they're doing right now, to smear us, which they announced was the name of their plan. They are doing everything they can to try to hold us back. But we have a very good momentum right now to be on the ballot across the country, but it's not cheap. If you are in Illinois or Indiana, we have big campaigns going on there right now. You can go to jillstein2024.com, look at the ballot access drop-down menu, and click on your state to see whether your state has a ballot drive. Just by helping carry the petitions, and we explain how to do that, we'll contact you if you sign up. We'll get back to you in the next 24 or 48 hours to bring you onto the team and provide you support. We are a grassroots, people-powered campaign. So you can help by joining the ballot drive. Illinois and Indiana are the two really very difficult struggles right now. We are on track, however, to actually make it, but contributions will help us compensate some of the people who've been working 24/7 collecting signatures. These are community folks who are marginalized, who are fighting the system. They are post-incarceration. We need to support them for them supporting us. So if you can throw whatever you can afford, $5 or $50 if you've got it, into the hat at jillstein2024.com. That can make a huge difference. There's nothing that the empire wants more than to shut us down and keep us a secret. By helping us get on the ballot, we make it impossible for them to keep keeping us a secret.
Yes,
Back
thank
to
you
you,
so
Erik.
much. I'm also donating $150 to your campaign tonight, and I'm posting the means on how to donate to you through our Discord, and I'll be advertising at the top of my my picture box here more in a second too. Jill Stein, thank you so much again for swinging on by. Mad Arab had a quick question for you. Mad Arab, go right ahead, my friend.
Thank you so much, Jill. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to ask you some questions. Thank you for giving Erik this opportunity as well. So to get to the point, my question for you is, and hopefully you can hear me. Did she drop?
Oh, wouldn't that be bad? She's having connection problems, unfortunately. So that might. All right. Is she? Yeah, she was having a bad connection problem. Like we could hear her voice perfectly fine, but her visual was not working correctly. So, oh man, I just had to get stuck in a menu too. But yeah, so she'll probably be right on back here. Unfortunately, yeah, her audio was fine, but her video was spotty. So, and then we'll also be taking more questions and everything like that too. Dude, like again, she has been hardcore, you know, feet on the ground, meeting with protesters. Absolutely, she's doing all the things that the other politicians should be doing. And I'm so glad that she talks about stuff that the other politicians wouldn't dare talk about, man. You heard what she said when she came in here and gave her speech. I mean, she was literally talking about the stuff that you think Joe Biden would ever say, it, like, or the Republicans or Democrats, they think ever hear the words that come out of their mouths, like how she talks. So again, she is already having influence because she's adding to the narrative, she's changing the narrative, and she makes people, you know, you have to respond to this stuff. She's the only politician, and she got arrested. She was actually rolling that hard. She got arrested at a college campus protest. And Cosmic and Corey, thank you so much. I mean, so we super duper appreciate that. How you think Joe Biden would ever put his freaking would ever do something like that? You think Joe Biden would ever go to that extent to freaking, or any Republican or any Democrat would go to that extent to go and protest until you get arrested? Hell no, man. So, you know, big freaking cool points to her. Yeah, we do need alternative options outside of our failed two-party system, man. And really glad that she is running and adding to the narrative. And I really wish that they wouldn't block out all these other politicians running. Like Amer said, you know, I really wish that Joe Biden, Trump, Jill Stein, and RFK would all have a four-way debate instead of locking everybody else out and just having Trump versus Biden. Like, dude, no, open up our democracy, man. Make it a real democracy and not just an illusion, not just freaking the illusion of choice, because that's kind of how I feel it is. Like, you know, it's like, you know, you give people the illusion of choice where, you know, whichever way you vote, you still, both sides still benefit you. And MZX, all right, so Matt Arab, anything you wanted to say until she loads up, or do you just want to wait?
I can wait.
I see you, Savage.
Okay,
so I'm gonna get right back to you. I figured you would. Savage, you wanted to make a statement before she comes back?
I do. I still do want to ask her a question too when she comes back, but I'd like to make a statement real quick too. I've been following Jill Stein, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders for a very long time, a lot of the other third party candidates as well. And we were measuring from the beginning each one of their, you know, ability, being able to, sorry for the background, being able to run the country. Sorry, they were very quiet up until I spoke. One of the criticisms that Jill Stein has gotten the most was that she's so soft-spoken, that we're in a time of war and that we need a strong voice. And so they always put Biden's voice and Trump's voice, I guess, to be the voice over Jill Stein's voice. One of the things I'm very, very, very proud of is how she's come out. For me, it's like she came out of her shell. She's no longer that the timid voice. She's out there, she's strong, she's fierce, and she's showing that side that everyone wasn't expecting of her before. When she ran before, because she ran a couple of times before, when she ran before, people saw her as that very timid, shy voice, the background noise. They didn't see her as this fierce candidate, although everything that she ran on and the principles that she stood on were exactly what we needed in this country even then. But everyone put on blinders because they couldn't hear her. Right now, Jill Stein has more opportunity than she has ever had before. Her voice is louder. Her voice is stronger. She is fierce. She is just fierce, and she is what this country needs. If anyone has any doubt that Jill Stein is capable of running this country, or incapable of running the country because of her softness of her voice, because of the softness of her voice, go look around and listen to the other candidates. Listen to the other candidates and how they speak. The disrespect, the dishonorable things they say, that has basically made a mockery of us as a country, the unity of our people. This is a voice that represents me. This is a voice that represents the people. This is a voice that the people need. Right now, people are only voting blue, no matter who, or voting red till they're dead. They're not voting for a candidate. But this is a decision that can be made that is for a candidate that will represent us, not just as an individual, not just as a color or a party, but as a global citizen. I'm not just American, I am a global citizen. My responsibility extends beyond the boundaries of the United States of America. And each and every one of you has that same responsibility to vote responsibly, because you're not only responsible for the United States, you're responsible for how the United States and the elections in the United States will affect the global community. Everything that's happening right now should prove to you that, because currently we are a dishonorable country that is sitting there and basically helping, if not basically doing the G side. What kind of country? What does it say about us? We will have to pay for that one day. This is going to be part of history. And the same thing will happen if Jill Stein ends up becoming president. That same effect that we have now, we will have on the world, except in the opposite way. We won't be doing damage in the world. We'll be reconstructing our role as the United States and a powerful government globally. And we need that back. We need our seat back. Thank you. Thank you so much, Erik.
No, thank you so much. I super duper appreciate you. And I've already hit the follow button on you. I just got a message from Jill Stein. So Jill Stein is coming back. So it's one of those things, dude. If everything works until showtime, and then everything freaking falls. She's having a connection problem, so we're gonna work. She is coming back. She's trying on that right now, so we're gonna be waiting on her. I do want to get to Amer. And listen, everybody, please hit the follow button on our friend here. He's a really, really great guy. And excuse me, dude, I had a longtime friend named Amer. So that's where I keep, I thought that's how it was pronounced. So excuse me, I apologize.
It's all good.
Everybody hit the follow button and go right ahead, my friend. Appreciate
It's
you swinging
Ahmed,
on
right?
by too.
Yeah, it's Ahmed and if you speak Arabic, it's Ahmed. But you know,
It's
if you
Ahmed,
can't,
it's Ahmed, so it's Amer, yeah.
yeah. If you can't, we'll go with Amer. That's good enough.
All right.
Look, I mean, while we're waiting for Dr. Stein, we have to stress that this is the year where we have a chance to make history. And if we want this movement to be taken seriously, we cannot, and that means the movement for environmental rights, racial rights, justice across the board, and yes, justice in foreign policy, and making sure that people are held accountable for this genocide. Sometimes you hear some people saying, well, Biden, I mean, it's not true, but they say, well, Biden might be starting to turn around, starting to do some good stuff. Listen, if somebody commits mass murder and then, hey, they find Jesus, they still go to jail, okay? They still have to be held accountable. So it really doesn't matter. There is no coming back from all of this. I'll tell you, I live here in Dearborn, where we have precincts here that are 95% Arab, and you cannot tell one person to vote for Joe Biden. And so if anyone thinks that they're going to be able to walk into our communities and still wave around this flag of Democrats versus Republicans, they're going to be sadly shocked. It's not going to happen this year. They have broken everything. And, our community especially has never been a community that's necessarily partisan anyway. We've never been wedded to one Democratic Party, one particular party. Anyone who knows Arab American political history, in 2000, we voted for George W. Bush because Bill Clinton had started these secret anti-terrorism courts, and Bush said he'd stop it. And then Bush invaded Iraq on a lie, so then we voted for John Kerry. And then we voted for Obama twice because he's Muslim. And then we voted for, that was a joke. If I know nobody got my joke. Okay, we voted for Obama twice because he's Muslim. Then in 2016, a lot of us voted third party. I voted for Jill Stein. I'll get back to that in a second. In 2020, they were able to convince us all that Trump is such a threat that a lot of us voted for Biden. And now you're going to see that while Biden got 80% of the vote in our community here in Dearborn in 2020 against Donald Trump, that's not going to happen in November. In November, 90% of our community will vote for Rashida, and probably 10% will vote for Biden. And people will look at that and they'll wonder how that happened. And a genocide is how that happened. But let me talk about 2016 for a second. In 2016, I and many other Arab Americans in Michigan did not vote for Hillary Clinton because we were very clear, it was very clear to us that she was a major supporter of U.S. empire and a major Zionist. And I and many other Arab Americans, and we make up about 5% of the population in Michigan, which is a big deal. And I voted for Jill Stein. I had been a surrogate for Bernie Sanders that year, but I voted for Jill Stein, and many other Arab Americans did. And guess what? Hillary Clinton lost Michigan by 10,000 votes. Okay? And subsequently lost the election. So the truth is, Palestine, or a candidate's sort of allegiance to Israel, has already cost them Michigan before in a presidential election. We just never really talked about it in that way. So we have a major opportunity this year in many states to make that case and to hold up the issue of Palestine and the issue of human rights around the world and the hypocrisy of American empire as the reason that an election turned out the way it did. And so we have to really take advantage of this opportunity, because the truth is, if we fail this time around, there might not be another opportunity like this for a very long time. And especially if there's too many people sort of on the left that fall for the idea of, Trump is so bad. Look, Trump is the rich white kid of a white entrepreneur slumlord who used to be a member of the KKK. Trump is not a threat to the system. He is the system. I mean, that is the fuck. Are we allowed to curse on TikTok? Or is that allowed? Are we allowed? That is the effing system. Okay, that is the system. So this notion that a rich white guy, and by the way, let me tell you something. If our system of Democrats and Republicans is so fragile that it can be taken down by some reality TV show star that's never read a book in his life, I don't know what kind of system that is worth defending. I mean, everyone's worried about defending and keeping this system. This system that is, we have a guy who just really is not on top of things. I don't give Biden the benefit of calling him senile. I don't think he's senile, because if you say he's senile, then you can't hold him responsible for his choices. He's not senile. He knows exactly what he's doing. But someone who just is this ideologically committed to American empire, and someone who is, never read a book. These are the two people that we're dealing with. And that's the system that we're trying to defend and uphold and say we have to make sure that we keep. I mean, come on, everybody. The truth is, at the end of the day, the story needs to be that our movement determined the outcome of this election. And there's many ways that can happen, but we have to make sure that that's the story that comes out in November for the future. Otherwise, we're going to end up in 2028 with more candidates that look just like the candidates we have right now. And we have to make sure that doesn't happen.
1000%. Thank you so much. Jill Stein, welcome back. Well, I had a connection problem. Glad you're back. Hello, how are you?
Good. I hope I'm coming on here. Hang on one second. Let's try this.
All right. If anything, we need to donate money to the Stein campaign so she can have a 24/7 tech support team next to her all the time.
Yeah, and JillStein2024.com. You can go on there. Also, I've posted how to donate to her campaign. It's in the Discord, everybody. Link to the Discord's in my profile. So we have, and I also have a video up on my the last video posted on my profile too. Jill Stein, welcome back. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Mad Arab had a question for you. Thank you.
Yes.
Go for it.
Thank you, Dr. Stein, for allowing us to have this opportunity to ask you questions, and thank you for giving Eric the opportunity to allow you on his panel. So my question to you is, knowing how powerful the AIPAC lobbyists are, and your intent to get them to register as a foreign entity, right, or a foreign agency, and knowing that the political landscape is stacked against us achieving that, what is your proposal on making that a reality? Thank you.
Yes. So this is going to be a big fight. There's no doubt about it. I believe the president has the power to require AIPAC to register as a foreign agent. If not, then we'll have to push it through Congress. And let me tell you how we are going to do that. But before we go there, I just want to assure you, whatever AIPAC does or is, the president still has the power to stop the flow of weapons to any country that is committing genocide, to any country that's violating human rights, that's interfering with the delivery of humanitarian aid, and that is violating nuclear weapons treaties. So that gives you 3 reasons right there why it is absolutely illegal for Congress to provide and for the president to approve the transfer of weapons to Israel. So right there, we have the power to stop this genocide, come hell or high water with AIPAC. Now, so let's now focus on AIPAC itself. I'm assuming that the president has the power because I know that JFK, John F. Kennedy, was also going to require AIPAC way back in the 1960s to register as a foreign agent before he was assassinated. So it's my understanding that the president can require this to happen. If it requires an act of Congress, here's how we pressure Congress. There's a thing called town hall meetings. Town hall meetings that used to be like expected that elected officials would meet with their constituents, with their voters. They're supposed to do that. Right now, they're too busy meeting with their donors, with the billionaires and the bankers and the fossil fuel giants and the war profiteers. That's who they meet with right now. We have to insist. And if we win the presidency, okay, we will have the power of the bully pulpit no matter what. They can't shut down the communications from the White House. So at the very least, we can hold their feet to the fire and demand that they meet with their constituents. And then we will be supporting people in holding recall elections if that's necessary. We need to reassert the power of democracy. Town hall meetings is one of the ways that we hold elected officials accountable. Another way is through the thing called congressional hearings. We used to have meaningful congressional hearings, like in the days of the Church Committee, where the Church Committee shined a very bright light on what the CIA was doing to sow chaos and crisis and violence all around the world. And, you know, through the church hearings, through the Church Committee hearings, we were able to put our foreign policy on a more ethical footing for a little while. And then those hearings kind of went the way of the dinosaur. But that's what congressional hearings are supposed to be about. They're not supposed to be about petty partisan politics, which is what they've become. So the bottom line is, if we build a grassroots movement, and remember, the election can be won with 26% of the vote. We don't have to have 51% in a 4-way race. It can be won with 26%. We just, recently saw that we're at 8% in Wisconsin with 22% among people 35 and under. Why people 35 and under? Because we have social media, we have TikTok, we have ways to inform and empower voters, and young people are always leading the charge for, which way society is going and needs to go. So once we've gotten past these ballot struggles, which is what we're very focused on right now, once we've gotten on the ballot, they can't hold us back, and they also can't keep us out of coverage. They're pretending we don't exist right now, even though we are the one alternative campaign that is pro-worker and anti-war. We're the only such campaign on track to be on the ballot across the country. They're pretending we don't exist. Yes, there are other wonderful progressive candidates, but they don't have access to the ballot, not on any significant measure. So they're powerful voices, but they can't actually challenge empire. You can't challenge empire unless you're on the ballot. We are the one, which is why they're not talking about us, because of all the progressive threats out there. We are the biggest threat because we've shown we have the potential to do this. Let me also tell you what happened in New York, where they threw these outrageous draconian requirements at all independent campaigns, requiring 45,000 signatures in 6 weeks, which is impossible. The only independent who did it was the one who has unlimited deep pockets and spent $1 million on New York alone. That is RFK. So he got on the ballot in New York through petitioning, but none of the others did. We, however, became very close. We got 42,000 signatures all the other campaigns were under 4,000 signatures. How did we get 10 times as many signatures as all the others? Because the anti-genocide, anti-war campaign community, the anti-war community discovered us and really kicked in the last week to 10 days. So all of a sudden you had the Yemeni community and the Pakistani community, and of course the Palestinian community, and one after another, Arab American and Muslim American communities were standing up to say, we are going to get this campaign on the ballot. And that was what happened. So our campaign really reached liftoff speed in New York. And that is continuing around the country, that this campaign is galvanizing the the moral vision of America, that is stepping up to say we are not going to allow 2 million people to go down with the ship here, and 1 million people are on track to starve in Gaza in the next 1 month. 1 million lives are on the line, which is why we have to stand up now and show that we're organized. And by doing that, we will be on the ballot. If we're on the ballot, they can no longer suppress us. And when that happens, it's off to the races, and we can begin to follow the trajectory of the 35 and under crowd, which is now at 22%. That's almost enough to win a four-way race. That is 22% in Wisconsin. But there are similar numbers around the country. So we should be very, very encouraged and feel very empowered by what's actually happening on the ground. And we should feel very empowered by the fact that the empire is quaking in its boots and pulling out all the stops right now in order to try to block our campaign. So I encourage people, again, go to jillstein2024.com, go to the petition, the ballot access drop-down menu, click on your state on the map to see how you can help either in your state or a state near you. Because if you're near Illinois or Indiana, we have 1 week left. We are closing in on the numbers that we need. We are very close. So if you're anywhere in the vicinity of Illinois and Indiana, consider coming for a weekend or a day or a couple days to help us get the numbers we need. And if you can't get there, make a donation, whatever you can afford. If it's $3, great. If it's $10, great. Whatever. Lots of hands on deck making small contributions. We can move mountains doing this. So we have the power. Let's do it. And they ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, can I say something real quick, Eric? I was asked to make a little announcement that we do have some people who are willing to do matching donations if people donate tonight. So we have people who are willing to match up to $7,100 in matching donations if people donate tonight, and those generous people are Aman, Layla, and Ronald at 6,000, 1,000, and 100 that are all going to do matching donations. So everybody, please make sure you make a little donation right now, whatever it is. Get out there, and this will keep going. But we need to make sure, again, that with all the problems, I mean, listen, we were lucky enough about a month ago or so, I think it was Dr. Stein, she was with us here in Dearborn, Michigan. And we had a room full of Arab Americans and couple standing ovations for you, Dr. Stein, that night. It was a night with a lot of energy because we are very, very well aware of how she has stood up for us. And so this kind of energy will be everywhere, and especially in the state of Michigan, which, I mean, I'm biased, but we're going to decide the election. And so we have to make sure that we're out there. And again, we know all the obstacles that Dr. Stein and the Green Party are going to have to deal with. The duopoly, the corruption. It's our job to make sure, as much as we can, that money is not one of those obstacles. So let's do what we can. Everyone get out there, $100, $200. Some of you can do $1,000 if you can. If you can do more, do whatever you can that makes sense for you to make sure that our voices are heard, because this is the only candidate that is calling this a genocide, standing up against it, and making sure that our voices are heard. And we have this historic opportunity this year to be out there and to be the movement that changes America. And so I unfortunately got to go. But Dr. Stein, I just want to say thank you as a longtime Palestinian activist. Thank you again for everything that you are doing. and we are all one. And we are going to, I come from Palestine, and there was a guy from Palestine 2,000 years ago that had a quote that I like, where he said, that which you do to the least of my brethren, you do to me. And so we have to make sure that we're all taking care of each other. And that's the example that you're setting for us. And we really, really appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Amer. It's been an honor to have you here tonight, and we're on it. A team, inseparable and unstoppable.
Yes, thank you so much, my friend, for dropping on by. And everybody hit the follow button on him on the way out, too. Hit the follow button and hit the follow button on Jill Stein. I'm sure you guys are already following her already. JillStein2024.com. That is the quickest way if you want. And then the donation thing to donate to her campaign is right there on her website. You can't miss it. JillStein2024.com. Again, I'm donating $150 right after the show, because I mean, we really need this. I mean, this would be really, really great to break the duopoly so that we have more options besides just Republicans and Democrats who are completely both failing us right now. Not just the presidents, but I mean, for real, guys, the Congress, our mayors, our governors, oh man, across the board, doesn't matter if they're Democrat, they're all failing us right now. We just need some more, we need fresh blood in there. And Jill, thank you so much. I'm so glad you actually have the courage to say the stuff that most of these other candidates are too afraid to say. So thank you so much. Mad Arab, thank you so much. I believe Jennifer is next with a question, and then Savage. So Jennifer, thank you for your patience. Go ahead, Jennifer, for your question, and Savage will be next.
Okay, fine. Hi, Jill. Thank you so much for joining us and just being a person of the people. It is so refreshing and amazing, and thank you. So I've had the privilege to hear you several times on TikTok, which is amazing. Thank you for making yourself so accessible to us. So I kind of have a question. Of course, I'm pro-Pally, and thank you for covering that. That's mainly a lot of what we do here on Erik's show, so I really appreciate that. And I've heard you speak on the environment. Thank you so much for those talks too. But I want to kind of throw one out there on women. And this should be a no-brainer for a woman to ask a woman about how she feels on our rights and our equality and such. But considering how many women have voted for T-Rump and still support him, I'm going to throw it out there because I really I want to know your stance on women's equality, on our freedom for bodily autonomy and our access to healthcare. And I'm trying to word that in a way so we don't get into that big A word thing. So I just, women aren't even paid equally in the workplace. We're seeing our rights being diminished in several red states, and it's horrifying. Me as a mother of a 30-year-old daughter who has not had a child yet or gotten married, but that is a part of her plan. And I want to make sure those rights exist for her, that freedom for her to be able to leave work, to have that comfort level, to have all rights to her own bodily autonomy. So could you just please give me a little stance on how your take on that is? Thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you for saying it. Women have a right to our health, to our health care, to economic equality, to economic justice, to housing justice, to equality on the job, to freedom from harassment, from persecution, from domestic violence. We have a right to all of the rights and protections of full citizens. And, there's an equal rights amendment right now that would help establish and make certain all of those rights. And that equal rights amendment is sitting there just waiting to be released. And this is one of the pledges that I've made, is that on day one, we will basically unleash the equal rights amendment for women, which will make certain and make defensible in court our equal rights across the board, to equal health care, to reproductive health care, to equal pay, because right now women are generally getting about 80% of the pay of our male counterparts. And if you happen to be an African American woman or a Hispanic woman, it's even less. It's like 65% of a white male. So there are inequalities across the board. Reproductive health care, you know, in my view, as a healthcare provider, it's a no-brainer that reproductive health care is just a part of healthcare, and it should be between a person and their healthcare provider, their nurse or their doctor. It should be between the two of you. This could have been codified decades ago, and you know, this has been promised forever that Roe v. Wade would have been codified, and this was not done. Barack Obama and Joe Biden both said it was going to be the first thing that they did when they got to office, and it was not the first thing, and it was not the last thing either. So, you know, this is a terrible injustice that we can fix, that women are, you know, women and, you know, and men and people of, you know, non-traditional gender, you know, are strongly in favor of reproductive rights, including for women. And we have the power to insist that it happen. Remember that the right to an abortion was achieved under a conservative Supreme Court and with a very conservative president under Richard Nixon. How did we get it? By standing up and demanding it and using the power of our voices and the power of our votes. So we can stand up and demand that we have full reproductive health care as a part of a full agenda of equality across all of our genders and, you know, mixed non-traditional gender as well. We can stand up and demand we all have a right to equality before the law in all dimensions.
Thank you, Dr.
So
Stein.
much, Dr. Stein. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Guys, I really want to remind you that we need to get behind Dr. Stein's campaign. So let's make sure that we're visiting Jill Stein 2024. And let's contribute. Let's do our part, folks. We keep saying we want a third party candidate. Well, there she is. So let's get behind her and support her, folks. We do have matching up to $7,100 of people that donate this evening. So make sure that you're going to Jill Stein 2024. Remember, we've discussed, you know, the Republican candidate, but the whole of Ireland is angry with Biden. As Claire Daly said, butcher Biden, take our country out of your mouth. Now, I'm an American citizen now, Dr. Stein, but I know that there are 30 million Irish Americans, and I feel strongly that we need to bring them forward. They're so far removed from our culture that they forget that the Palestinian people and the Irish people have always stood together. We stood with South Africa, and we stand with the oppressed, and that's what you're doing. So, folks, do us a favor. I know Dr. Stein is getting short on time. I got a message from her team, and I know you all have questions, but really, we need to be making sure that we are standing with Dr. Stein. She's up there representing them all. So, Jill Stein, 2024. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Shelley, and thank you so much for that. And yes, the people of Ireland have been such an inspiration in their courage and really leading the charge, both in recognizing Palestine as a full, member of the United Nations that should be recognized and given full rights, and just standing with the people of Palestine against the genocide. So thank you so much for that. I also want to add that we also have match. We have a match of public funding. So in addition to the generous supporters who've offered to match donations tonight, remember that we're also getting a match from public funding, which we have qualified for, and that means everyone who donates is going to have their money doubled up to a total of $250. So if you can give $10, that turns into a $20 contribution. And it's small donors that really are the driving force of our democracy, because big donors, inherently it's just, it's just a very corrupt system. In the Green Party, we are a small donor campaign. We don't have the loopholes that Democrats and Republicans use. We do not accept corporate PAC money. We do not countenance, approve, allow super PACs to be founded for our campaign. Super PACs allow money of unlimited value. Normal, everyday humans have a limit of $3,300, which is a lot of money for most people. But for the Democrats, and the Republicans, they use super PACs, which means you can contribute millions of dollars. There are no limits. There are some alleged rules that they have to follow, but basically it's no holds barred. This is just a loophole, plain and simple. It is corruption, plain and simple. You cannot have, huge quantities of money pouring into the campaigns and think that those donors then don't have very special insider influence, and they're calling the shots, which is why we have policies that are serving AIPAC, that are serving the war profiteers, that are serving the insurance companies, that are serving big pharma, that are serving fossil fuels, and the real estate industry, and just making a mess, an absolute catastrophe out of our lives in really every dimension of our lives. So it's small donors, that allow us to basically take our democracy back and demand that it start working for us, which is the promise of democracy that we must have. Thank you very much for all that you're doing.
Thank you, Dr. Stein.
Jill Stein, thank you very, very much. No, we definitely appreciate you. Savage had a question for you from Salam and Solidarity. And thank you so much. Salam and Solidarity is an awesome, awesome charity, everybody. Thank you, Savage, for jumping up here. Go ahead, Savage.
First of all, Dr. Stein, I want to say how amazing you are. I've been following you for a long time. I'm second generation Jordanian, Palestinian American, and I'm so proud of you and the growth that you made even as a person, and just watching you, I admire you so much. I want to tell everybody right now one thing, because I've been reading the comments. The only thing that would stand in the way of Jill Stein, Dr. Jill Stein, becoming first female president of the United States of America, and we will hear those words, first female president of the United States of America, I introduce to you Dr. Jill Stein. The only thing standing in our way, guys, will be the splitting of our votes, the splitting of our voice because of fear. If you allow fear to operate and for you to decide, I have to just go with Democrat or Republican because that's the way things have been, that is the only thing stopping us from making this beautiful woman, Dr. Jill Stein, President of the United States. Actually, Erik, my sister Jennifer did ask the question that I was going to ask about female rights and stuff, and then Jill Stein has been immaculate with the way that she's addressed everything about Palestine, because our work on ground as a grassroots movement, and I'm in solidarity, sorry about my background, really is dependent on the way that we're moving forward as far as who becomes president and what the policies become, because what's happening in Palestine is a big part of what we do. We will be reaching out in Congo. We do work in Syria. We're going to be doing work in Sudan, inshallah, all of these other places. But I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, Jill Stein, for standing up with the strong and powerful voice that you have and becoming even stronger as a voice. I was just telling them earlier, you became fierce. You opened up and became fierce because you were standing up for people that needed you the most. I thank you so much, and thank you guys, everybody from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Erik Warsaw, for giving me this time. You guys have a great night.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Savage. I couldn't agree with you more. This really is we're at the breaking point. We're at the breaking point in our foreign policy. We're at the breaking point on genocide. We are at the breaking point here in America on our housing, on our health care, on lousy jobs, on student debt, skyrocketing rates of homelessness and evictions. And, people are desperate. And polls of young people, in fact, show that half of people under age 25 describe themselves as hopeless about the future. And 1/4 of people 25 and under say that they've considered harming themselves in the last 2 weeks because they are that desperate and despairing about the future. This tells us that we are on an absolutely desperate and outrageous, unacceptable track. And we need to fundamentally change the direction of our country. This isn't just the right thing to do, it's absolutely essential for our survival and the survival of our children. So this is the right thing, we've got to do it. And it really is the breaking point moment. We can turn that breaking point into the tipping point and forget the politicians and the pundits who tell you that they own your vote. They don't own your vote. That's an extremely anti-democratic notion that our votes belong to the Democrats or to some lesser evil. There is no lesser evil in an age when both candidates are supporting genocide and when the Democrat, the usual lesser evil, is leading the charge on genocide and the suppression of our civil liberties, our right to protest, our right to free speech, which is all under assault right now, criminalizing protest, the cop cities that are being built all over the country right now. There are some 70 of them that are underway. Our military, I should say, our police forces are being turned into the military and supplied with, with tanks and armored vehicles and drones, for God's sakes. This is the betrayal of our democracy. We don't have to wait for Donald Trump to see fascism in this country. We have fascism in this country when innocent protesters are under assault and when students are being thrown out of college simply for standing up to protest genocide. And genocide is being, and fighting genocide is being equated with anti-Semitism. And we now have not only a revived military draft, but it's now automatic registration as well. So they're coming, they are coming, and they are collecting our names, our addresses, and our emails. And it's very important we stand up and fight this now while we still can. We have no one who's going to do this for us. We need to do it ourselves and reject the propaganda that tells you are powerless. We're only powerless as long as we allow them to brainwash us into powerlessness. We have the numbers, we have the values, we have the momentum to actually turn things on their head in this election. And even if we don't get to the White House, however far we get, we are at a more powerful launching pad for everything that follows. If we only get to 5% in this election, then we start off the next election without having to redo the ballot access fights, because we'll maintain ballot access just for having reached that percentage. So the ballot access fights are over, and we can begin with actually mobilizing our communities and doing the outreach. That will make a huge difference. We will also begin with a whole pile of public funding, like $20 million. Currently, that's the amount you get if you get to 5%. So it's a whole new ball game. And our goal here is to build this force to end empire, oligarchy, and genocide, and demand an America and a world that works for all of us. We have nothing to lose but our chains and everything to gain here by standing up together. We are unstoppable. Back to you, Erik. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. Do you still have time for a couple more questions?
I do. Yes, I do indeed.
All
and
right.
I apologize for all the
Dionysus.
technical trouble here getting on. Go ahead.
Oh, no, it's all good. Thank you so much, Doctor. So, and I greatly appreciate you being here. This is great. We've been pushing for independent third-party candidates for all these months. And we're glad to have up here because you are actually the crowd favorite for the past few months. You've been the crowd favorite. And I think as more and more people find out your name, they're going to agree with you and you'll have more and more people on your side, just more and more exposure. I've also heard that like Fox News and CNN are intentionally not mentioning you too, which is very, very sad. Thank you, Doctor, for being on here. Dionysus, go right ahead, my friend.
Dr. Stein, thank you for answering questions. Dorchester native. A lot of people in this position would say I don't envy you, but I envy the courage you have. Reminds me of a longtime family friend, Chuck Turner, from back in the day in Boston. I'm sure you know him. So my question is, after we take care of foreign meddling and all these other things and the war machine, what about the forgotten, silent, ongoing genocide? Fix that problem. Drug rehabilitation goes and all that. And the corporations that were responsible for that.
I'm sorry, Dionysus. Jill, I don't know if you could hear him. His connection all of a sudden went back. Dionysus, your connection, could you hear him?
I heard him up until like the critical point where he said, "What about the silent genocide of?" And then I lost.
Dionysus, I'm sorry,
Am I
buddy. Your
good
your
now?
connection dropped. Could you please repeat yourself? Yeah, you're better now.
Oh,
Go ahead, my friend.
I mean, it involves some stuff, but so of the silent ongoing genocide of the opioid crisis and homelessness here in America, because we waste so many billions on other mechanisms of war and destruction. What are we going to do about that, and to uplift those people and hold those accountable that cause?
Oh, great.
Oh,
you
thank
so
you. Good
much.
question.
Yeah, such an important question. And we're seeing 100,000 people die every year. It's just astounding. And where did this come from? This basically came from the corruption of our government institutions, from the Food and Drug Administration that gave an approval to the Sackler family for fentanyl and for opioids that basically allowed them to run away with this and to enable the use and the very irresponsible and dangerous use of a very dangerous drug. So that's where this came from. This came from giving away the store to a family, the Sackler family, with incredible power and influence to basically buy policy from the FDA. And this is not an isolated instance. We see the same thing going on with Boeing and the Federal Aviation Administration. We see the same thing going on with the EPA and with the power of the railroad industry to have basically suppressed this very toxic and dangerous spill that we keep finding out more and more about, not only destroying the lives of so many people in East Palestine, but also now we're hearing that it's gone into many other states and many other areas as well. And this has all been kind of suppressed and covered up. So, this is a huge issue. We see the same thing with the FDA and Monsanto, where Monsanto CEOs are basically allowed through the revolving door to move through between industry and then the regulators who are supposed to be controlling industry. And this is like the rule, not the exception, that we have corruption of our regulatory institutions. And this is a disaster. There's so many things that we can fix. The opioid problem is not rocket science. We know what we need. We need harm reduction. We need also to basically legalize drugs so that they are not, and shall we say decriminalize. We need to start with decriminalization, although we can legalize cannabis. We need to begin by legalizing cannabis and taking it off of the, so-called registration that enables the drug cartels to make huge profits and to inflict incredible violence both in this country and outside of this country where we're conducting the drug wars. So, we need to take the illegality out of this. We need to begin treating addiction like a public health problem, not only addiction, but also use and misuse. This should be addressed within a public health framework, not inside of a legal framework, which basically makes it untreatable and unfixable. And then we need to provide for harm reduction and for centers for treatment on demand, and to allow people who are addicted to basically have a harm reduction program where they are provided support. And that includes housing, it also includes healthcare, so that you enable people to get their lives together at the same time that they're trying to deal with their addiction. So many other countries around the world have done this. This did not work in Oregon because people were not provided the supports that you need. It's not enough to just provide treatment. You have to go beyond treatment. You have to go beyond harm reduction. You have to ensure that people have social supports. And in other countries where people have healthcare as a human right, where they have access to affordable housing and social supports, people are able to get their lives together and to basically beat back addiction. We are unable to do that in this country. It just doesn't happen. So we know that what we're doing right now, criminalizing substance use, is a disaster for which 100,000 people pay with their lives and 100,000 families are paying with tragedy. So we know how to treat this. It's very expensive not to treat it, but to treat it is actually affordable, and a road to success. Thank you very much for that
Thank
question.
you, Jill. And you know what? The first and last person I voted for was Mickey Mouse 20 years ago. I'm going to vote for you. Thank you for that answer. That was beautiful. You're an awesome
Thank
person.
you. Thank you. Any further
Yes, thank you so much.
questions?
I'm so glad you addressed that, and I'm so glad you brought up specifically the Sackler family, who was pretty much solely responsible for the opioid crisis, and they didn't even do any jail time. They just a $6 billion fine was their punishment, and I just looked it up. 841 people did not survive from drug overdoses. 841,000 people died. So that that is insane. What one family was able to do that. Thank you. So Mark just jumped in here.
Yeah.
Shelley, go ahead.
Sorry,
Okay, yep. All right, so Mark is going to be going, and then Nadia, if we have time, then Nadia will have a question. But go ahead, Mark. Thank you for jumping up here.
Eric and Shelley, thank you so much, guys, for your time. I really, really appreciate you. And Dr. Stein, you are amazing. You're beyond amazing. We really appreciate you. And I mean, to be honest with you, words cannot be enough. So we really need to step in right now and really start showing it in a different way. Like Amer said, like Erik said, like everybody's saying, it is time right now to start funding this movement. $5, $10, it is a must. It's not a choice. There is no more room for us to wait and just wait. It could happen, or it might happen, it might not. It is time right now to really fund this movement. The movement of women, the movement of young generation, the movement actually of intelligent people enough being hitting back and forth like a football or a soccer ball between the Democrat and Republican. We have a solid opportunity, and the only way we can do it is to fund it. We keep complaining and we need everything for free. It's not gonna happen. We have to start really putting something on the ground, anything. We haven't, I mean, I was just talking to the campaign the fund manager here, and she's like, we haven't even reached to the matching fund. So guys, I know it's not easy. Okay, I'm not saying it's easy, especially for a lot of people like me, like coming from Gaza. Most of the time we support our family back home, but you know what? The way we can support them is right now by funding Jill Stein. It is not by just sending them money over there. It is making sure the policies that we are looking for and we're dying looking for is available in our hand, and it is time for us to really make it happen. If we don't make it happen, we are the only people going to be responsible for that. We have to fund it, guys. And I really mean it. And please, $5, $10, $15, like how many viewers do we have right now? If each one of us put $50, we can make something happen. $20, anything is possible. You know what? Just put, nobody goes to Starbucks anymore. Imagine yourself, you are right now going to Starbucks twice or 3 times a day. You would be spending at least $100. Throw it there. Throw it where it actually, you know where it's going. It's not like you're throwing it. I mean, you're already paying taxes and you're not happy for what you're paying because we're funding and killing our own people. At least we know where this money is going to right now. It is time, guys. Please. I cannot emphasize how important that is. It's not for me personally. Nobody's going to put anything in our pocket here. It is actually to make sure that choices, the right choices, is available across the states. I am in North Carolina, but I'm reaching out everywhere to make sure our voices, our choice, the right choice, not blue or red. It is the green, and the green actually needs money right now, and we need to make it happen. Let's match it. I have a lot of hope and expectation. I know we can do it. I know. We go to a liquor store and buy a bottle of anything and come back and just imagine that anything, or you smoke, or you get a cigarette, just put it where actually it pays for our future and our kids. Only $3,000 right now to get the match. We can do it. If we divide the $3,000 to $50 each, that means we need like 100 people, or actually less than 100 people. We can do it. This is the opportunity.
And guys, remember that the fact that Dr. Stein does not take PAC money. I mean, I can't draw your attention enough to that, folks. There are PACs everywhere for all kinds of things. They've defeated rent control here in Southern California recently. They work against unions. I mean, these are big, big, dark money, folks, that we don't know where, really where it's coming from. So I give great respect to Dr. Stein that she just cannot be bought. And to Mark's point, we have to, stand alongside her. And I know that we can do it. We're not going to Starbucks, so that's the least that we could do.
Yeah, definitely not Starbucks getting our money. Yeah, I will be donating. I decided I'm going to be donating $400 after the show to your campaign, Dr. Jill, because we super duper appreciate you. So thank you. So you actually talk about the same exact stuff that we talk about on the show before you even come up here. So really, really happy and glad that you came up here. Do you have time for any more questions?
I do. I'm to me, this is what it's all about. This is really about helping people with the vision and the insight and the courage that you have, helping you, get the grounding, get the background, get the information you need, get all your questions answered so that you can be even more superpowered. Because at the end of the day, change comes from, the younger generation. That's been true in the civil rights movement, the environmental movement, the women's movement, the labor movement. Real change, and the anti-war movement, going back to Vietnam, which was like my really, activating experience. Change comes from young people, and I want to do everything I can to help empower you to demand a world that's going to work for you, because right now, young people don't have a future, can't afford homes, can't afford to have a family for the most part, don't have decent jobs, you've been locked out, and, the climate and the environment is crashing. It's 126 degrees in India. In Mexico, the howler monkeys are falling from the trees, dehydrated, and the villagers are trying to save them, but they can't. There are hundreds of howler monkeys who are dying now. This has never happened before. If you didn't believe that climate change and climate catastrophe was here, it's like, look around, wake up, smell the coffee. The Colorado River is about to go dry. The level in Lake Mead is now so low that the water is very close to shutting down, to exiting from Lake Mead to get into the California agriculture system, which provides half of the fruits and vegetables for the entire nation. Half. So when that system goes down, which is inevitable right now, that's going to happen in the next 1 to 2 years. Even the Washington Post ran a headline that called it the doomsday scenario that's on its way. And that's just one of the things. We ain't seen nothing yet. The climate crisis is accelerating. So young people are desperate for good reasons, but these problems are absolutely solvable if we can throw off these chains of powerlessness that the political elites have really saddled us with. But it's false. It's absolutely false. We have the power the minute we stand up with the courage of our convictions, which is what young people are doing, from our campuses to the demos across the country and the rallies for Palestinian human rights, for an end to the climate crisis, to stop the oil and the fracking pipelines and all the rest. We have the power, and we need to bring that power into the voting booth. And it is my job in life is to help my highest aspiration is to help young people seize the power that is theirs to create a future that's actually going to work for all of us. So I can't thank you enough. I'm sorry, here I am rattling away. Let's get on with your questions.
Nadia has the next question for you. Go right ahead, Nadia. Thank you, doctor.
Hi, Dr. Stein, you are a fresh breath of air. You are, oh my gosh, it is, I had no hope in our political system, and you have reignited the fire of hope. And so I thank you for that. You are a total breath of fresh air. My question is a logistical one, and I also wanted to quickly say that, touching on the mental health care crisis, I am a mental health care provider. I am also a nurse. And I agree with you that we are at a crossroads right now. The structural problems are really trickling down to everyone in society, the pandemic, and then our economic crisis, and then, spending all of our money overseas. So I am totally with you that we are at a crossroads. So my question is a logistical one. I'm wondering how we can get aid over to Gaza. How can we get aid to Gaza with all the blockades?
Great.
Thank you.
Great. Really important issue, and a million lives are hanging in the balance. We know that from the UN World Food Program. They're predicting 1 million deaths from starvation in the next month. So this is really critical. In my view, it's really, we need to act proportionate to the state of emergency, which means, number one, we shut down all the weapons. No more weapons to Israel. And there should be UN action on this right now. The UN, recently passed this ceasefire resolution, which Israel has not complied with. That then should be the basis for the UN through the General Assembly to enact next steps to enforce compliance with the Security Council resolution for a ceasefire. So in lieu of that, we need to be enacting a global boycott of all weapons, and then an economic boycott. If stopping the flow of weapons doesn't end the genocide, then we need to move on to the economic boycott and do like what was done to Starbucks, but on a much bigger level. And given that there is unanimous support now in the Security Council and near unanimous support in the General Assembly, it's time. It's time to take steps because 1 million lives are hanging on the line. So we need to move quickly to compel Israel to not only stop the war on Gaza, but then as a first measure to open up the routes for the delivery of humanitarian aid. And that can be, the most efficient way to do that is by land, and those land routes need to be opened up. So it's really not a question, it's not rocket science as to how to deliver the aid. The critical thing is that we have to assert the political power here that the world community has to stop the war, compel a ceasefire, and then likewise go ahead and compel the delivery of aid. And we need to step up and demand action through steps that the world community can take together. And that's what needs to happen next.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nadia, and thank you, Doctor. Horn of Africa has a question for you. Horn of Africa, are you there? Yep.
Hi, how are you? Thank you, Eric, for giving me this opportunity. Hello, good afternoon. My question is, we all know what is happening in the world, and we know what's happening in Gaza, but looks like the world forget what's happening in Sudan. 120 million are homeless, left their houses, and 10 million people are facing a famine next month. So I want to know, what will you guys do? What's happening in Sudan and Congo? Because especially Sudan is suffering so badly for what's happening in the war. Civil war is happening in Sudan, and Egypt is asking Sudanese people for money to cross the border when the people don't have money. So that's my question, and thank you so much.
Yes, and I can't answer at the level of detail that that I could talk about Gaza with, because all of these genocides are horrible. The genocide in Gaza is a genocide that we're paying for, you know, and we're providing the weapons for it too, which you know, gives it a special urgency. But I agree with you, these are human lives everywhere that are being sacrificed right now to basically military struggles. And you know, in Sudan, it's really important also that there be a ceasefire and that it be imposed, and that the United Nations be able to move ahead to help ensure that that happens. And I can't at this time give you the detailed plan, but you know, to say that this is absolutely intolerable and has to be stopped. And yes, the numbers are absolutely staggering. I'd say the same thing is true in the DRC, in the Democratic Republic of Congo as well, which is another just horrific and really tragic situation. All of those, you know, I can't say specifically what the role of the U.S. has been, but you know, certainly in Congo, the value of the minerals and the war over those resources has everything to do with the conflicts, and the U.S. has played a role here by distributing weapons and arming all sides. The U.S. is the biggest, you know, provider of weapons around the world. So we take conflicts and make them much worse by arming all sides. So there are many levels on which this needs to be addressed, and you know, on a really urgent basis. Thank you for the question.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I just want to ask everyone, please, when we are focusing on Palestine, please not to forget the rest of the other countries. Thank you so much. Thank you, Eric. Bye.
No, thank you, Horn of Africa. Always super duper appreciate you. Everybody, JillStein2024.com if you wish to donate to her campaign. Again, I'm donating $400 to her campaign because, I mean, we really, really freaking need this. And Jill Stein, I wanted to thank you again for being one of the very few politicians to show up on June 8th to go and meet all the protesters and give speech and everything like that, man. That means a video about this on my profile where I was absolutely disgusted that most politicians did not even take that opportunity to do that. All they care about, they ignore protesters, they ignore all of us, and they just follow the money, unfortunately. Thank you once again. Subliminal Nation was jumping up here and had a question for you, I believe. Subliminal Nation, thank you for jumping up here. Go right ahead, my friend.
Hi, Eric. I didn't plan on asking Jill any questions, but I did come up because Shelly is very sweet and very appreciative that I got the message to Jason to have Jill come on. And I wanted to let Jill know we have been going hard for you since 2016. And as soon as you announced you were running back in November, it was like I literally squealed and jumped out of my chair. And since then, we've been going live every single night here on TikTok for you and just, you know, telling the masses about you. And honestly, we have convinced so many naysayers that you are the right choice. I mean, we have got a coalition of libertarians, Marxists, ex-Trump voters, ex-RFK supporters, people all over the political compass that are standing behind you. And, you know, we try to organize every night for volunteering, discuss your platform and strategy, and of course, call out the infiltrators into the Green Party for you. And my husband likes to call us, excuse my language, the ASS whole caucus, because that's what we do. And that's probably the main reason we haven't asked for you to come on to our show. But we think it's too intense. But I do talk to Jason every day, and it's great that he back and forth with me all the time. We love you, Jill! That's my husband saying we love you, by the way. But I did want to say thank you so much for getting out here. And I feel so bad because I see how much energy you're exerting and how strongly you feel about this. And I just see your support from 2016 to now is like 100-fold. It's amazing. Yeah. And we love you so much, and just keep doing what you're doing. And, you know, I really think you have a major chance this election. We can do it.
Thank you so much, Subliminal Nation. And I have to say that every time that I think I'm out of steam, I get so charged up by talking to people like you and hearing people like you and getting, how much we are all in this together, that we have this incredible passion right now. I was totally blown away when we came away with 42,000 signatures in New York, whereas all the other campaigns had less than 4,000. And it said to me, oh my God, this vision has just taken on a life of its own. And we, the people, are absolutely unstoppable. And we recognize that we have no future for any of us, if we're allowing the torture and murder of children on an industrial scale, and for that to be normalized, we have no future. And we have to stand up. We have to stand up because those lives are depending on us. And what's happening to those lives can happen to our lives. If we make it okay to conduct genocide like this, it can happen anywhere. In the US may be top dog right now, but we're not top dog for very much longer. We're destroying international law and human rights. And the disaster that we're seeing in Gaza now could happen to any of us. We need to restore the rule of law. We need to restore, human rights and just plain basic human dignity, and take our world back from these predators, these oligarchs, these fascists, really, who've taken over. The U.S. empire has just gone completely off the rails. And, we see that in every day and in every way, and they remain absolutely clueless. They remain just, complete warmongers, both in Israel and, I must say, in Ukraine right now. What's happening with the progression towards nuclear war right now is unbelievably terrifying. And they know nothing except just warmongering. That's their language. They don't understand diplomacy. They don't understand empathy. They don't understand, basic principles of justice. So the sooner we can remove these war criminals from power, the better off we're all going to be. So thank you so much for all you're doing, Subliminal Nation. And I'm so grateful and really honored to be working with you for the long haul.
Jill, have a great night.
You too.
Dr. Jill, thank you again. And thank you so much for mentioning Ukraine and everything that's going on over there too, because it's absolutely insane. Everybody, Jill Stein 2024.com. If you wish to donate to her campaign, I'm donating. I'm already setting that up, so I will be donating. But Jill Stein 2024. I'll also put a link in the Discord and everything like that too. Next person with the question is Vengeful Survivor. Oh, Shelly, go right ahead. Go ahead, Shelly. Go ahead.
Mark wanted to speak there, so just a second.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yes,
Thank
guys. Thank you so much for making some donation. The donation start moving, and we really appreciate it. Right now, we have we have 700 almost. If each one of us, literally each one watching right now, pays $5, $10, we will be able to match the matching fund requirements. So 700 times 5, that just really, it's nothing. It's so easy. We're not asking for the maximum 3,300. Hey, but if you feel like you're so generous because it is the right movement, please do 3,300 for yourself, 3,300 for your wife. And if you have 18 years old kids, and you want to cover it for them, please do it. The maximum. Listen, the thing about it is, he cannot survive, and the movement cannot survive without our money, period. There is nobody else supporting this other than people just like you and me. She doesn't collect money from PACs. She doesn't collect money from corporate America. She doesn't have lobbyists funding her left and right. She only has us, and we need to get that matching fund. We're not asking for millions. You know what? If she can collect money from all these crazy non-professional that people actually buying our political system that we hate, she wouldn't need us. She would call one person and give her $1 million without even blinking any eye for themselves. So she has us because we need her. All we're asking right now, please, $5 for each person watching right now. $5 is nothing.
Remember, that's true. We're up against APAC as well, right? 96%
Yeah.
politicians on both sides of the aisle are funded by that one huge pack. So that's the problem. We're sort of like the deck is stacked against us no matter where we go with our vote. So Dr. Stein cannot be bought, not with APAC money and not with other people's money. So let's get behind her and do what we can to help her, as Mark said.
Yep, it's definitely money and power versus the people on this one. And Jill, you definitely have the people on your side. So thank you so much. I think a lot of people, while they're watching the show, they probably going to get a lot more donations after the show because they don't want to miss the show and click over to the website just yet. So we're going to be advertising a lot of it after the show too. Again, I'm donating to JillStein2024.com, and then they have a big yellow donation button once you're on there. So thank you. Let me get to Vengeful Survivor for your question of Salam and Solidarity. What's up, buddy? Go right ahead.
Hey, buddy. Is it okay if I pass this to Nola real quick so she can ask first and I'll ask afterwards?
You are a true gentleman. Yep. Go ahead, Nola.
Hi, everybody. You know, I was hoping Vengeful was ready, but I guess I'll go. It's an honor to meet you, Jill Stein. Really, it is. And I'm so proud of Erik. I'm proud of the team. Shelly's amazing. You know, we've been working so hard over here, and we have a great team. And, you know, it's great to have you on here. It really is. And thank you, Erik, for bringing me on here. So, you know, I thought somebody else was gonna go, so I'm a little bit off guard. but
I can go if you want. I can go if you want.
Sure.
Okay,
Thank
sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I just wanted you to have a chance to go first. Dr. Stein, it's an honor to be on this panel and to be speaking with you. And I do want to say that I'm all for systemic change. I think there's a lot of issues in this country that need to be dealt with. And I gotta say, watching your journey and your growth, your tenacity, your willingness to address the issues and answer questions is really amazing. And everyone here, you know, that comes to the show, you know, knows my viewpoints. And I'm telling you, I'm Team Jill Stein right now. I really am. And I think everyone else should be. I think we should all be fighting for systemic change. But, you know, this is a great way to start. And I think you're doing a wonderful job. And really appreciate you so much. And knowing that, I'm going to ask a little bit of a tough question because I know that you're willing to discuss these things. And my question is, because everyone in this audience is pretty educated, they know about American imperialism, you know, how we have troops everywhere protecting resources that we're taking from other countries. We know we want to end that. And, you know, I'm wondering, you know, the situation in Gaza and, you know, the way we have put our troops to do things like protect Kuwait, protect oil, go after Iraq, go after Afghanistan under false premises. As you as president, would you consider using our armed forces to stop a genocide like what's going on in Israel if that's the last resort? Are we willing to put troops on the ground to protect the Palestinian children, the Congolese children that are in slavery? Is that an option we would ever consider or you would consider instead of being the country that goes in and does horrible things? We could be the country that stops that. And I just wanted you to see if you consider doing something like that or thinking about something like that as president.
Great, really important question. And I think there needs to be a lot of dialogue and discussion about it. And, you know, you don't hear much for lots of reasons. But let me just say, first, as far as Israel is concerned, Israel has nuclear weapons. So we're not going to be able to fight this out. It really makes the point that you can only go so far using militarism as a tool. But the world is so unified now in opposition, so passionately opposed to the genocide, I have no doubt that the world can engage a boycott, first of military weapons and then an economic boycott, and can move quickly from one to the other in order to really compel Israel to comply with international law. And that means ending genocide, ending occupation, ending ethnic cleansing, ending the apartheid state with a full recognition of Palestinian sovereignty. So I'm quite convinced that militarism is off the table here. Or Israel will respond with nuclear weapons, and who can doubt that Israel would do such an incredibly dangerous and murderous thing? I'm quite convinced that they would. So I think we have to use economic power here to stop this. And, until proven otherwise, I think that is the preferred mode. We have to, engage dialogue and UN institutions and really shine a bright light on what's going on in other areas of genocide around the world. But, the track record for using the military supposedly for human rights is kind of disastrous. And my strong inclination is to avoid doing that, at all costs. Thank you so much. Thank you for the question.
Thank you to Vengeful Survivor, and thank you to Salam and Solidarity, my friend. Excellent group too. So, all right, I see you, Peaceful. All right, so Nola, we're gonna go back to Nola for.
Dr. Stein has been here for a long time. Sorry, I'm getting the message in the background that Erik is not getting, so that's why I'm housekeeping. So, folks, we have time for maybe one more question. And thank you, Dr. Stein. I know we've kept you a long time, so appreciate it very much.
Yes, thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you. My phone's battery is running low, so my phone will be in favor of this too. Thank you.
All right, Nola, you had a quick question from Nola?
Yeah, I just have a quick question. In terms of what we as the people should do to back you, to make sure that you are elected president, if you have like a road plan, what everybody should be doing. Perhaps it's on your website or anything like that. But that's all I had. And again, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for being on here. Pleasure.
Thank you so much. Really great question. And, I can tell you that our roadmap is fairly simple at this point, because the main struggle in front of us right now is getting on the ballot. And the empire is doing all that it can. It is pulling out all the stops. It announced back in March that it would be hiring an army of lawyers to challenge our ballot petitions, to try to throw names off of our ballots. They're taking us to court right now in Nevada. We just qualified for the ballot with 3 times the number of signatures that are required. And they are basically launching a really frivolous lawsuit, which we're required to fight. Now, it takes resources to fight it. You need lawyers, and they generally don't work for free. So, again, it's like, that's how you can support us right now, is by helping us get on the ballot. We have these fabulous grassroots groups, largely from marginalized communities. These are post-incarceration. They are youth mentoring groups. These are like, the people who are on the front lines of struggle, who've really embraced our campaign, and they have stepped up to help us get on the ballot right now in Illinois and Indiana, but they've promised to continue on from there, and they've mobilized hundreds of people, which is what it takes, and they're at it full time. We need to be sure that they're getting paid here, because they can't live on air either, and they're doing this full time to try to get us in under the wire, and they're doing a really great job. Our numbers are really strong. We're about at the requirement for Illinois and Indiana, but you have to get more than the requirement, because they're gonna throw names off the petitions. You've got to aim for double. So we're really trying to finish really strong here. And that's why we have to raise, at least $65,000 this week in order to make a down payment for the work that these hundreds of petitioners and community activists are doing. So what you can do right now is help us raise money, either by contributing or getting friends to contribute. There are lots of supporters out there. We have thousands upon thousands of supporters. If everybody pitched in $10, we could do this. We could do this. So, it's like Bernie Sanders' campaign. It just took off because people were ready to engage. And then they got burned. And after people get burned, it gets to be really hard to get motivated again and throw your resources into something, especially when you're trying to help people get out of Gaza and survive. There are just many drains on people's resources right now. But this is a really critical one because the empire has never been so vulnerable here at home. And we've never had, a coalition like what we have right now that could actually win this, because we are the only pro-worker, anti-war, anti-genocide, climate emergency campaign. Those are 4 really compelling issues. And along with that goes ending student debt and free public higher education and healthcare as a human right. All these things. We have the numbers to do this, and we're really close to the ballot numbers that we need right now. If we win Illinois and Indiana, it is a huge shot across the bow of the empire. They are really going to be coming after us at that point, which they already are, and they have reason to be scared. So anything you can do to help get the word out. We are also very suppressed on social media. We are shadow banned big time. We're classified the same as WikiLeaks in the same category, which is like a huge honor that we're considered that much of a threat. That is just incredible, but that does make it difficult to get the word out. So anything that you can do, exactly doing what you're doing, just more of it, and encouraging people to just keep making those small donations, because that will enable us to get on the ballot. That's what all of our resources are going to right now, aside from like our bare bones, minimal staffing levels. People are working, 24/7 practically, around the clock. People are so dedicated who are on this campaign. Many are doing it on a volunteer basis. We are a very, very low budget campaign. And that is where the money is going right now. It's to support the community activists, the youth, the people out of jail, out of this mass incarceration system. That's who our resources are going to now, because of the incredible work that they're doing to help our volunteers get us on the ballot. So that's what it's all about right now, is getting on the ballot. Once we're on, and Illinois and Indiana are the 2 biggest remaining states. Then we have legal battles that we're fighting, but these are the 2 biggest remaining battles. We are on the ballot already for a majority of voters around the country, but we need to get the rest of them, the rest of the youth.
And thank you, Dr. Stein. I know we're almost at the end. We have one question and then we're going to wrap, guys, because Dr. Stein has been most gracious with her time, most gracious. And don't forget, donate. And there's also matching up to $7,100, guys. So let's get it done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sally, we have one last question. Thank you.
Great.
Is that me? She said,
yeah, go ahead, Peaceful. Yes, Peaceful.
And then we said, yeah,
she said life is paused. I mean, I'm here anyway. If you want to support...
hang on one second.
Okay. Hello, doctor, and how are you?
Okay. All right. Are you seeing me now? I saw I was freezing up there for a moment.
Hello, and how are you? And pleasure to meet you. I just wanted to jump in here and to basically tell people, if you want to help Dr. Jill Stein, I suggest start by making a video and talk about why do you want her to be your next president? Because she is shadow banned. You should start, every one of you. We have 600, almost 700 people here. If every one of you for the next 10 days make a video about why do you want Dr. Jill Stein about us, within 10 days we'll have 7,000 videos all over the place. That will be helping. We have social media. Use it for good. That's what I'll tell you. Also, donate. I already did. Donate. Go to her page and donate because we need somebody clean. Remember, she's a doctor. She went to school to save lives. She ain't gonna be like the rest of them. I strongly believe I've seen her in Washington on the protest. I've seen her everywhere. I think she's an amazing human being. And like I said, if you can't donate, start making videos and share and let the American people know why you would rather have somebody different than the same coin, different faces. Because if you go left or right, you're voting for the same people that have been running you and enslaving you for decades. You're not getting anybody. You literally left or right are the same ones. They're ruled by the same people. That's what I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So jump out there, donate. If you can't donate, make videos. If you want the change, if you want to see a change, make few videos about her. Talk about why she's great and why do you want her to be your next president. Because obviously she is not, the reason why she's here is because she did not accept the handouts from AIPAC and from these criminal organizations out there. So that's what I'll say. I really appreciate you. I wish you the best. And I'm going to tell you more than anything, be careful with what you're saying because we know who you're dealing with. You're dealing with Masha criminals.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Dr.
Thank
Jill,
you so much.
so
Powerful
much.
words.
Thank you.
Thank you. And guys, I just got an update.
Thank
We have
you. Thank you, Eric.
$1,200 short for our goal. Sorry, guys, it's hard to know when to talk when we're all here together.
All right.
Let's have another push. Let's get that other $1,200 in,
Amen.
guys. I'm going to donate when we're finished. Thank you, Dr. Stein. I won't interrupt you again. Thank you, Dr.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much. That's so exciting that we're getting so close to our matching goal. So that's amazing. Thank you all so much. Keep the heat on and we'll be in touch and we're going to win this one way or another, whether we win the White House or we win the day from which we continue organizing to basically dismantle the empire and the oligarchy and create an America and a world that works for all of us. You all are amazing. It's such an honor to be with you here tonight. Thank you so much for all you're doing, and let's keep it up. Eric, final word from you?
Oh, no, I just want to thank you so much. And listen, you've already had victories across the board just by changing the narrative, adding to the narrative, and making people aware of like how bad all these political action, all these PACs are and everything to trying to influence our politicians and everything. And just by giving, again, there's certain things that were absolutely taboo and you are not allowed to talk about it and you're breaking those taboos. You've already had many political victories from this right here. You're giving the chance for other people to grow and speak up too. So no, we 1000% appreciate you. And thank you so much for dropping by, Dr. Jill Stein. We're definitely rooting for you. And we hope to see you again at the protests because that was fantastic for you to show up to all the college protests and the June 8th that was awesome. Nobody else is doing that except for you. Thank you so much. Jill Stein for president, Dr. Jill Stein for president, everybody. Thank you so much once again. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Free Palestine, and we're unstoppable together. Thank you.
Free the USA.
Free the US.
And free the US, free Palestine and free America. Yes, thank
Free
you.
America from these criminals.
Yes. Jill Stein, that was absolutely awesome. I'm so glad, so glad she dropped by, man. Here, let me put her thing up here too. I want to put her banner up there, Jill Stein. The Jill Stein banner. So
$1,200 short. Okay, so Auntie Shell.
yeah, I'm also I haven't donated yet either. So there's a lot of people. I'm gonna put the link in the disco. I'm gonna put a copy of this recording. I'm gonna put it in the disco. I'll put it on Rumble so people can see the if they want to if they missed part of it or whatever too. Solitude, thank you so much. And we're gonna be advertising everything in disco. For real, I imagine that most people would donate after the show. Because, I mean, if you're busy watching the show, you don't want to dip out of the show to go on the website and stuff like that. So I imagine there would be a lot of donations after the show because people wanted to watch the show. So like me, myself, I couldn't donate during the show either. So Joanna, I figured it'd be mostly afterwards.
I already did donate, but if there is anything missing for whatever you planned on getting here, let me know. I'll cover it before the time runs out.
Super appreciate you, my man. Thank you.
We want to make sure that she knows that she came here and she got what she got. We were happy with her. So if anything left, whatever the goal is, let me know. I'll cover it.
All right, thank you, my friend. And guys, you know what? Do you guys notice what she said at the end there? She said she's got courts after her. Dude, that I hate that. They're weaponizing the court system against politicians to make them so listen, they can touch politicians, but politicians can't touch them. Because who has the ultimate power? Merrick Garland, kind of, right? I mean, he can touch others but not be touched. He can influence others but not himself be influenced. So it's stuff like that really bothers me about our democracy. And yeah, when they're bringing her to court, it ties up her time and it ties up her money. 76, thank you so much. So yeah, she's fighting the whole Matrix, for God's sakes. The Matrix, man, she's fighting the Matrix. Oh, yeah, she's got the media giving her shadow bans, and all the social media sites, everybody are giving her shadow bans and stuff like that. I mean, she's got like 40,000 followers on TikTok. I mean, when you're a content creator, you like a lot of people, some people think that like shadow bans are like conspiracy. No, dude. If when you're a content creator, we'll see shadow bans if you say the wrong thing and this and that. If you say certain things that the algorithm likes, then you're going to get actually additional boosting. And if you say stuff that is against their politics, you'll get shadow bananas. It is what it is.
And can I say something real quick? Because his point was great, Eric, and I want to say how great you did.
And then we'll Shelly, load up some guests. We'll run the show for an extra like 15 minutes or so, and then we'll let everybody have talk with. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, my friend.
Eric, you just did great. This was amazing, and I wanted to say what Peaceful said to everyone who's still here. Make some videos if you believe in her and you believe in this. Like, do what he said. That's how we can fight back. If you don't have the money to donate, we can fight back by making videos like we make them about Palestine. And Eric, I think you brought a lot to this, and she really slayed. She did a great job.
Yes. All right. So, guys, I'll just do a quick run on all the Peaceful. You have anything to say? And then I'll just do listen, I'll run everybody super quick so everybody can have a statement here at the end. Like everybody, you got a 2-minute timer on you, and just go ahead, Peaceful.
I hope all the people that were watching here, they will support Dr. Jill Stein. And like I said, even if I donated, and I'm going to make videos about her. I like this lady. For some reason, I've seen her. She got arrested in a protest. She is a true human being, and I'm going to support her. I did donate. I will make videos, and I will do whatever it takes, and I might just start seeing where she's at and going and supporting even more, like in the ground. Do what you can. If you want the change, you have to be a part of it. If you want the change, you have to be a part of it, so you can say, I did it. You don't say they did it for me. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my friend. Really quickly, I'm just going to run through a whole bunch of guests. Everybody can give their opinion on Jill Stein and everything like that. Buddha, go ahead for a 2-minute run, my friend.
Man, it'll be really quick. This is like the most honest thing I've ever been with. And this any live, man. This is awesome because this is as close as I've ever been to a candidate. And I was one of the people that grass funded and helped Bernie Sanders. We were the Bernie bros. We literally made TikTok worry about where the money was coming from. It was blue dots popping everywhere. And I kid you not only TikTok, we had Twitter busting with blue dots. And we made Bernie Sanders $20 in just less than 24 hours. I was hurt when he reneged and he burned us. I'm putting all effort on this. We need this. Everybody mobilize. You know what to do. You guys are much savvier than me. I'm still new at this, and I'm creating content. I'm tapping my ass off. I'm doing what I can, get the voice out. We all know what we can do. We got talent for this stuff. Let's mobilize, get this thing going, put in $5. You know she's shadow banned. We are shadow banned, which is BS. Let's get going. I'm done.
Boom, there you go. Thank you so much. Bravo. Thank you so much. Buddha, thank you so much. Run through all the guests. Any statements, anything you wanted to say, go right ahead, everybody.
Hi.
Yeah, no, she was a great guest, man. I wish, I would love to have her long. Awesome of her. Go ahead, Double A.
Hi, Eric. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yes. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm a physician and I had her and I donate to her. I wear her t-shirt, I have her bumper stickers and, just super excited and had some really, critical questions for her. I just got out of work and, tried to get on and ask some questions. Just my message for future, please guys, like the same message over and over and over takes the place of some other people who might have questions that can actually, not be repetitive. But let's donate. Eric keeps saying, let's donate. Of course we will. But just give people a chance to come and ask, what can we actually do? This was an amazing chance for a one-on-one to see what can be done in the world of medicine and physicians, because we're going around and talking about, we need. Physicians are in the business of saving lives, not hurting. So we need one in White House more than anything. We're done with politicians and dirty lawyers, and no offense to any, but we just need somebody who has the passion, who can talk, who's a woman in every way. She's our candidate, and she wears a kufiya. So come on, she's our girl. Like, we gotta go full force. We all know that. But please, in future, give people a chance. 2 minutes, 3 minutes of talking and praising her is not going to get her anywhere, but asking her, how can we organize? How can we go in this aspect and that aspect, serve the purpose? That does help. So, all right. I also want to know if she said anything about the two-state solution that I missed. One-state solution.
No, she did not address it. That would have been a good one too. I don't know her opinion.
Last night I was on a forum on TikTok, and one of the guys came up, a Palestinian guy, and he was like, well, in 2016 she said something about, when they asked her about one state, two-state solution, she didn't have an opinion. What's up with that? And we're like, she's the only one, together with Cornell, who are loudly saying Palestine and fighting for it. So, but I do want that question to be answered, and I was hoping to get that, but
thank you, Double A. Appreciate you very much. I try to keep everybody on a 45-second question and to move them along. So we did the best we could, and we're just really glad that she showed up and got as many questions as we did. So thank you, Double A. Appreciate you very much. Hopefully she joins us again sometime and answers some more. So thank you, Double A. Appreciate you, Ronan. Dave, go ahead for your 2-minute run.
Hey, great live, man. I recorded parts of it. I'm gonna post it on my channel later. I was going to say, I voted for Jill Stein. I voted for Jill Stein back in 2016. Got a lot of grief for it because, of the contentious election at that time. But that's because people didn't ask which state I was registered to vote in, which was a very strong red state, Tennessee. So there was no danger of my vote swinging the election in any way possible. And that's what I want to say for people that are worried about their respective candidates in 2024. If you're in a strong blue or a strong red state, your vote's not going to really matter. I wanted to do in 2016, which I will do again in 2024, is try to get the Green Party on the ballot so we can break the, what do they call this thing? The duopoly? The duopoly? Which is really more of a monopoly. Because all they do is they throw.
Because they both work for the same people. I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. What's the old saying? Left wing, right wing. They're still the same bird. All they do is they throw bones, social political bones to their constituents. But when it comes to the business as usual, they pretty much do the same thing. Same donors, same business interests, same foreign interests. There's not much difference. But what I want to say to the people out there. If you're unless you're in a battleground state and you particularly like a certain candidate, if you're in a safe zone, try to vote green. Don't try. Never mind. So there is no try. Do it. Vote green. Oh, are you gonna have Jill Stein on again? Are you gonna have her on again?
That's all up to her, my friend. That's all up to her.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll be up. Thank you, Ronan, Dave.
Yeah,
Appreciate you
great
super
job, man.
duper much, my friend. And yeah, left wing, right wing, they're both broken wings of the same bird. Or as somebody else more eloquently put it, left cheek, right cheek of the same ass. Yes, thank you, Ronan. Appreciate you very, very much. Ellie Bano, go ahead for your 2-minute run. I'm gonna just for everybody who wanted a chance to speak, I'm gonna give you a chance to speak now. And that was so great for her to swing on by. Ellie, go ahead, right ahead. Appreciate you.
Hello. Yeah, I had
Hello.
2 questions, but I didn't get on. One big question was, I volunteered for past 20 years for third party, and I know the pitfalls, I know the tricks they play on you. And I wanted to ask her, why did Ralph Nader was not allowed to get on the debate? Do you all remember?
Oh, yeah, that was
Was
1990s,
not
right?
let into
Wait,
the
no.
debates, and why
No,
does
no,
she
which...
think she can get in the debates?
Listen, this is what they do on purpose, Eli. So what they do, everybody, and she even talked about it a little bit, like, you know, how they have the court system go after her and this. Listen, what they want to do is they want to keep it only Republican versus only Democrat and kind of push out any other competition. It's more controllable that way, and it's mutually beneficial for them. If they only have one competition, and their competition's a bunch of lame ducks who take money from the same freaking people that they do, then that's what benefits them. And they will both work to keep out any other competition and keep it between themselves. As much as they like to argue in public, dude, they work together behind the scenes anyway. But even in their own selfish
I'm just wondering,
interests,
why was she so confident that she's going to be getting into
no,
it?
it is a possibility. It is a possibility for her, RFK Jr., Joe Biden, and Donald Trump to have a debate if they allow it, and if she shows significant, what she say? I think she said that, was it 5% or 15%? Certain percentage, then she can actually be part of a debate. She can, if she can hit that mark. So it is possible.
They never made the 5%. Is that what we're saying?
I don't know specifically on that one. I don't know specifically. So Eli, thank you so much for your 2-minute run.
Just
Super
one
duper
more
appreciate
thing.
you.
Please do not vote lesser of two evils. That's the
There you
big
go.
problem in American, voting system. Don't.
Yes.
Take off.
Yep. Thank you so much. Nadia answered your question. Nadia said he had 3%, so he did not qualify. Thank you for answering that question, Nadia. Ask the Pup Mom. You're next. Go ahead. Ask the Pup Mom. Welcome to the show and go right ahead. How are you? Ask the Pup Mom. A white box just popped up on your screen, so you can hit that button. Your microphone will be on. Go ahead. Ask the Pup Mom. And let me get to Dark World. Dark
Eric,
World, go ahead.
Eric, good morning.
Welcome to the show. Go ahead for your 2-minute run.
Good morning. I'm not going to take 2 minutes, maybe less. All I want to say, Eric, is I've seen a lot of people, like Palestinian people on your show. And I want to say something. Money is a big matter. And our community in the United States, especially in Michigan area, Chicago area, is very rich. And we are connected to each other. So the people who live in the state, Palestinians, just tell your brothers and sisters that they need to donate to Jill Stein, because we are a very rich community. I know people got money. Palestinian people got money in the States. Seriously. And this is going to be really helpful if they do that. I'm going to donate my, we get, I live in the Blueberry state, and I get my welfare from the state because of the case of the war. They give me $1,700. I'm going to donate it all because it's money from you and it's going back to you, That's what I'm going to do. And I ask all Palestinians, we call each other cousins, and I'm calling all cousins, go ahead and do the job. Just really, Michigan, Chicago area, Houston area, they get so much money. Okay, especially for.
I'm sorry, Dark World. We have an echo. Be good to one. Yep, we're good. We're good. Go ahead, Dark World.
Yeah, that's what they should do. If they need a change, they have to pay money. You know what I mean? We need to pay, and we can. Our community is rich. They have money. We have millionaires and billionaires in our community, and they can help. You know, that's very important.
Thank you so much, Dark
Thank
World.
you.
Super duper appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, let me get to Ask the Pup Mom. Give Ask the Pup Mom one more chance here. Ask the Pup Mom, are you there? And microphone request. Yep, there you are. Hello, welcome
Hi,
to the show.
yes.
Go right ahead.
Hi, yes. I just wanted to say thank you for bringing
Ask the Pup Mom, your connection's not. We can't hear you anymore.
confidence in this democratic system. Oh, can you hear me?
Oh, now I can.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
you
went
dipped
from
off for a
Wi-Fi to
second.
not
Now I can
Wi-Fi.
hear
That
you.
was my
Go ahead,
fault. I'm
repeat your
sorry.
statement. Go ahead, repeat your statement.
I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you. I am a middle-aged woman that has lost all faith in this democratic system, and you are bringing it back, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. I feel the same way.
But that's it.
Dude, I lost faith in this damn system. Dude, and we're going to be the force of change. And for real, through like the October 7th, through the Palestinian cause, man, it's like they're the spearhead. And then after the spearhead, a whole bunch of other good things are going to flow, including things that benefit all of us, not just the Palestinian people. Yeah, first and foremost, the Palestinian people. But dude, if we get rid of AIPAC, yeah, it's going to help the Palestinian people. But then, dude, how much is that going to help us? Of course it's going to help us, man. We're not just free in Palestine.
Yes,
we're
it
free in the
will.
freaking world behind the Free Palestine movement. So, yeah, Ask the Pup Mom, thank you so much. Super duper appreciate you. Let me get to Pally Girl. Pally Girl, welcome and go right ahead.
Hey, I wanted to let
Hello.
everybody know that Jill Stein does Q&As on Zoom meetings like every week. So you guys can jump on, like, you know, I noticed in
Pally, all right, she could probably got a phone call. Really bad timing phone
Oh,
call.
sorry.
Gail, thank you so much. Stephanie, thank you. Or go ahead, Pally Girl, you're back. Go ahead.
No, you know why? Because I changed screens and I was gonna read
Oh, yeah, you
of
can't do
something.
that.
Yeah. So hey guys, you can get on Zoom meetings if you go to Jill Stein's website, jillstein.com or 2024, I think it's called. But just Google Jill Stein and you'll find her website right there. And then go to her website and you can sign up for these Zoom meetings. And they send me text messages. Like I get text messages all the time, and there's Q&As going on. You can ask her any question you want. And most of the questions will be answered if you just go to her website. It's all right there.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
she's super cool about that. She's very interactive. Smart.
There's so much information there, guys. So you should start there and then go to fec.gov, right? And that's where you'll find any politicians, like when you're looking for like Congress, like people to who's funded by AIPAC and who's not. And there's a lot of organizations out there, guys, that's not AIPAC, but they're not called AIPAC, but they're the same as AIPAC. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
Eric, if you can let them know one day what all these organizations are, that would
Oh,
be
dude, there's so
helpful
many.
out. Yeah, there are so many. So
Thank
go
you
to
so much.
FEC. Thanks, guys.
And
Thank you,
here's the
Eric.
trick, everybody. No, thank you, Pally Girl. Thank you so much. Here's the trick, everybody. When AIPAC or that organ, like that type of organization, what they do is they'll create another organization that sounds like something that they'll make ones for right wingers, they'll make ones for left wingers. I just had a name of one of them here somewhere. It's like for democracy, blah blah blah. It was like trying to appeal to left wingers, but they make these packs that try and trick you. Because remember, to influence people, the espionage, like what they teach in intelligence, espionage, like in CIA, KGB, and stuff like that. Right. So it's called. You go by the acronym MICE. Money, ideology, compromise, extortion. That is how you influence people. Money, just pay them. Yeah, here, we're going to pay you money to be on our side. All right, ideology, you appeal to their ideology. If they're right-wingers, left-wingers, Democrats, they're Republicans, if they are, if they like a certain football team, then you like that football team, you like their political party, you like everything that they like, and you try to couch all your words and your efforts into the things they like, appeal to their ideology. Compromise. And then compromise and extortion. Compromise, like Joe Biden's son. Republicans do it too. On the Republican side and Democrat side, they're given tons of money, and they keep getting money only if they stay I got a background. Everybody, please hit your mute button, please. Everybody hit your mute button. And they're going to keep on. Oh my gosh. All right, and they're going to keep on getting money as long as they stay on their side. And then there's extortion, Jeffrey Epstein. All right, so that's the acronym you follow to try to influence other people, especially politicians. So everybody, continue on for 2-minute runs, so I get as many people as I can before we. Beanie Blue Eyes, welcome to the show. Go right ahead, man, for your 2-minute run. Hello, buddy. How are you? Microphone request. You can turn your microphone. White box just popped up in your screen. Great, your connection's really bad, man. See if you can get closer to your Wi-Fi. I can barely hear you, and it's very choppy, my friend. Can you get closer to a Wi-Fi connection? No. Beanie, I'm going to come right back to you, my friend. See,
can't you?
No, Beanie, we can't hear you, buddy. We can't understand you. I'm sorry. Moderators, leave him on the panel. We'll get right back to him. All right. Well, we're going to try and reload. Beanie, if you can hear us.
Sorry, thanks.
Okay, yeah, load him again. Green Party. Go ahead, Green Party. Welcome, show. Go ahead for your 2-minute run.
Yeah, this was just a question I wanted to ask Jill Stein. Can you hear me? Just to confirm. Okay. Yes, this is just a question I wanted to ask her. If she's seen like the book called Cast by Isabel Wilkerson. And because that addresses many of the problems we are seeing. And I thought I was going to talk to her a little bit about that, but couldn't quite get to it. It knocked me out before I could speak to her.
Yeah, there's a lot of people trying to request to speak. So I was trying to hit up as many people as we possibly could and stay within her time frame. Green Party, is anything you wanted to make a statement while you're up here? Thank you so much for your time.
But yeah, I just wanted just how the book came, just interesting with the book of how it actually addresses many of the things of what we're seeing, like with Palestine, the slaughter we're seeing there, and many of the other things that we're seeing in the world, like mass shootings.
Thank you, Green Party.
All these other things.
Thank you so much. I definitely appreciate you, and hopefully next time we can catch you on. What's the name of that book one more time?
Cast by Isabel Wilkerson.
Cast by Isabel Wilkerson. Green Party, thank you super duper much. Cast by Isabel Wilkerson. Appreciate you, Green Party. Okay, so Bean, let me try you one more time. You have one red bar. Go ahead, Bean. Beanie Blue Eyes. Go right ahead for we'll try your connection one more time, my friend. Go ahead. Hello. Beanie Blue Eyes.
Greetings from South Africa.
Oh, we can hear you. All right, go ahead for your 2-minute run, my friend. Appreciate you.
Greetings from South Africa.
Greetings. Go right ahead, my friend. I think we lost connection again. All right, he lost connection. All right, Majid, thank you so much. Let me get to Humanity Stand. Let me get to Humanity Stand. Go ahead, Humanity Stand.
I love it when y'all all got jiggy with it.
Yeah.
That was an exquisite show tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you for your team. Thank you for what you're doing. I just wanted to wish a new way to find a way to arrest or fire each and every politician that's holding a dual nationality with any Zionists in the party in the United States of America. Anybody that got any bribe from AIPAC to be booted, I mean booted out of there. This is a must. We have to find a way. We have to dig the laws. We have to do whoever knows anything about international laws or get to digging in it. Please get jiggy with it. We need them out of here. I just wanted to thank everybody. Shelley, you've done a great job. Thank you, Erik. I think you're mastering the show. You came in on the 8th of October, 9th of October when I first seen you. I never thought you were going to step up, and you stepped up to the real deal. I hope to see you on TV and on shows, and you'll be a VIP because you are to us. Please
buddy.
keep it going. Free Palestine.
Appreciate
Get
you, my
jiggy
friend.
with it.
You're damn
Get
right,
jiggy
Free
with it,
Palestine.
buddy.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah, I definitely appreciate you, man. True, thank you so much. Majid, thank you so much. Appreciate every single one of you. My friend, I super duper appreciate you. Next time you see me at a protest, come say hi to me. Nola, what's up, Nola? Go ahead, Nola, for your 2-minute run.
Yes, I am so proud of you, Eric. I am so proud of this show. I am proud of Shelly. I am proud of everybody. I'm proud of myself. Like we have done so much, and to get to this point where we have, we've reached this presidential candidate, and we're doing this. It's amazing, and I'm proud of everybody here, and of our team too, of our audience. You guys are amazing. You show up and you show out. And yeah, I think, we all know what we need to do. She gave us a roadmap of the steps that we need to take. Donate if you can, share if you can. And I am so proud of all of you guys. It's great. It's great. It's great to be a part of history with every one of you guys. Thank you so much.
No, thank you so much. Majid, thank you so much. Humanity Stand, thank you so much. Anxiety, thank you so much. Nola, appreciate you super duper much. Yeah, guys, it's really, really great. And again, listen, the next big thing that we're going to have is July 24th. Benjamin Netanyahu, the devil himself, has decided to come to America and give Congress some recommendations on how America can help Israel. If that is not insane, that a foreign government, a foreign leader is coming to America to give advice to our Congress, dude, are you out of no? That is supposed to be prevented. No dual, as Humanity Stand said, like, dude, we got to get rid of anybody who has a dual American citizenship with another country, especially which one, the blueberry one. So because this is. You can't. A person can't serve two masters, man. Dude, who do you work for? Who do you freaking work for? You got to work for America. You got to work for. I'm saying, why do we take care of Ukraine more than we do over here? And when we're giving money to Ukraine, it's for weapons. It's not even like to help Ukrainian people. We are not helping Ukrainian people. Right. We're giving them weapons so they can go unalive themselves against Russians. To know Ukraine will never ever defeat Russia. I mean, have you guys seen the size mismatch, the weaponry mismatch? Dude, it's impossible. We're just having people unalive to no damn reason, and it's costing us $70 billion in 3 months. Nola, thank you. Maggie, welcome to the show. Go ahead for your 2-minute run, and then we're going to keep it moving. Go ahead, Maggie. Hello, welcome back. Hi, Maggie. Microphone request. Hello, Maggie. Not there. Okay, so Abaz. Oh, Dionysus. Dude, how many accounts do you have? I didn't see
I got
you
so
popped
many.
up. Look at Dionysus.
You guys don't even
Hey, that
know
was listen.
half of the accounts I got.
I loved your question. I'm glad you addressed it, and I loved her answer. He asked a question about the drug epidemic and everything like that, and she mentioned herself, the Sackler family. Dude, it was one family. It was one family who was responsible for the entire opioid epidemic. I just looked up the number. It was like 800,000 people in 20 years. It was one family that bribed people all the way up the chain to allow a drug into like doctors' offices that was literally, no exaggeration, stronger than street level heroin. It's insane.
I could feel the panel's fingers and toes with the family members and friends who have passed away because of that horrible thing. But I want to, so we had a great night tonight, everybody. Can I get the big screen real quick? We had a great night tonight.
Sure.
We raised money for Jill Stein, but we can't forget the starving children in Gaza. Help Feed Gaza now. These guys are on the ground every morning. We're live every morning trying to raise money, trying to put food in kids' bellies. We're going to be having auctions. Rach Ducks, as you guys know, is going to be auctioning off that picture of the press guy holding the thing. I'm also going to be making some things that are going to be auctioned off, and everything's going to Palestine. Nobody's keeping nothing. But let me show you. So this is just a sample. This is that turtle shell. This is going to somebody else, though. I'm going to be making this turtle shell in a very similar fashion. I'll also be doing like carved pieces of woods in the shape of Palestine, and we're going to be having auctions. a couple of times a week just to raise money. So like you will be getting something out of the auction if you even need something to give money. But we just got to remember like the everything we're doing here is awesome, but there's a lot of things that we can do, even if it's just a few bucks. Let me put that thing back up so people can screenshot it. But you can go to I got to get this on my page too, but they have Cash App and they got all that, so it goes straight to them. And you can even see, so if you donate a certain amount, you can put your name on it, and then they'll throw your name out there on a video. You'll see the kids eating, they feed them, they run around, they laugh. It's a great time. So please remember that. And like Jill Stein said, there is going to be a dark horse candidate possibility coming up. I'm kind of with Erik on this. But Jill Stein said it earlier about like, even if we don't win now, we got a massive foot in the door. And then we can mobilize over the next 4 years and lock it down across the board. This November, and then the next midterm, we win the Congress and the Senate. And then we take the seat. And then we flip the whole system. We totally douche all three houses, the Senate, the Congress, and the elite chamber, or whatever you call it. I forget, I'm kind of tired. But yeah, Erik, thank you for your platform, man. You have remained true to what you said. You're the last real one remaining, bro. Do not disrespect that honor, brother. You already know. I see the tattoos on your arm. You know what that bind means. So I love you, brother.
Thank you very much. Yeah, my bind runes. Yeah, I got a bunch. Yeah, thank you so much, my friend. I super duper appreciate you. Abaz Kupi. I'll see you next week under a different name.
Real quick in 2 seconds. So Abaz Kupi is my great uncle. If you guys want to learn about
Okay.
Bisa and Kanun, which is Bisa is a practice of the promise to help anybody who asks for help, no matter what their background is to protect them. In Kanun. But my great uncle was a legend, and sadly, he may have saved some people back then whose grandchildren are murdering people today. And that's why I'm so passionate about what these people are doing. They're disgracing many people's honor.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, my friend. I super duper appreciate you. All right, let me try Maggie one more time, and then I'll get to Beanie. So Maggie, I'm going to try your microphone one more time. Sometimes there's microphone issues, connection issues. So Maggie, are you there, my friend? Thank you, Dionysus. Maggie, are you there? And no, Beanie. Let's go to Beanie Blue Eyes. Beanie Blue Eyes. Let's try your connection again. You have one red bar. Let's try you again, my friend. Welcome. Hello. Can we hear him?
Greetings. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can kind of hear you. Go right ahead, my friend.
Can you hear me? Greetings from South Africa.
Greetings.
Greetings from South Africa. Great job. Just a quick one. And I know it might seem
Go ahead.
but you know, the deeper you go down the rabbit hole, with T in rabbit hole becomes silent. Are you with me?
Oh man, your connection's kind of bad. I heard half of what you said.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I'm sorry. Damn it, man.
Beanie
Blue Eyes.
T in rabbit hole balance.
Oh, damn it. Beanie Blue Eyes, we can't hear you. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. If you can hear me, we cannot hear you. I'm sorry, buddy. You have one red bar next to your name. Your connection's really bad. I'm sorry, buddy. If you can try and get a better connection or something. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. You could like come in, like, I can only hear like 25% of what you're saying. Maggie, try Maggie one more time because I think the microphone is on. Maggie, are you there? Dalal, thank you so much. Thank you, Dalal. Maggie, are you there?